What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream on the Friday night. What, an hour, pretty much an hour and 20 minutes later than when I said it was going to be. Well, you know, sometimes naps, they do happen, and they need to happen because they're restorative. Although I feel like I'm still, like, I have, like, a nap hangover still. Like, I'm still not completely awake and coherent, but yeah, I slept until 10 p.m. and I thought, oh yeah, I'll be able to just get up and, you know, get my ass in the other room and get to getting, but it didn't work out that way. So yeah, took me forever to get started today. Shit. Anyway, yeah. Ask and you shall receive. We have a Pat at the NES Punk, nice 50-minute documentary about. I think this guy talks about some similar points that I did whenever I made my Pat video. In fact, I want to say that I saw this guy's video first, and it like inspired. I don't know. It like. I definitely might have used a point or two that he brought up, but I was mainly all my own, you know, perspectives or whatever. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna watch that and then just figure something out, I guess. You guys are so horny for Pat the NES Punk. He would love to know that, honestly. I wish somebody would reach out and tell him that there's so many people who want to see him and stuff that he does, you know. Because I think knowing him and his ego, he'd be like super stoked about that. Holy shit! Hey, Stan. What's up, Redbird? Haven't seen you flying around here in a while. We just got finished streaming PS Magazine. What, did you look through a bunch of issues of PlayStation Magazine? I'd like to get a camera for streaming that's like mounted like on the ceiling that like points straight down, that I could switch to, like maybe like a webcam or something, so I could do stuff like that. Like look through magazines or, you know, something like that. That I always thought that'd be a cool idea. John from Spawnwave, he's got a camera like that. It's like mounted on his ceiling, putting it point straight down. That was a good sneeze. Let the red nose glow. Alright, anyway. Yeah, I'm still not like 100% awake yet, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm not the liveliest bastard tonight. So yeah, sorry about the lack of energy. Alright. So this is called like Pat the NES Punk from Shill to Seller or something like that. I should probably figure out who the fuck this person is before I. And you know, for those, I just want to throw this out here before I forget. For those of you who complain about Josh, who are these fucking people, bro? I'm tired of hearing about this James Rolfe guy and, you know, people like Justin and all these other people. Why don't you talk about music? Why don't you talk about this and the other? Okay. My Wednesday stream, that's all I do, is play music videos. Okay? Wednesday night stream. It's a little bit later. But that's all we do is we go through and we play all kinds of music videos spanning all over the place. people donate their money for a video they want to watch, $5 super chat, and then I'll play stuff I want. Last Wednesday's video is not up, unfortunately, because it got smacked the fuck down. Because there's a Depeche Mode song on there. It was the song for the video for the song Stripped. Let me see you stripped down to the bone. That song. Yeah, I was so banned for you. Not like, it wasn't like in the same way that the Justin video was, to where I got a warning and all that shit. It was just, it was like so copyrighted out or something. I don't know what word you would use. It was so copywritten that they wouldn't even let me see. Usually when you get a copyright strike, you can choose to trim out the segment. YouTube will do it for you. But this time they didn't even give me that option. They're like, no, fuck you. This just, how dare you play this Depeche Mode song? So, unfortunately, last Wednesday's VOD is not available. But yeah, every Wednesday, that's been my thing lately, is watching music videos. So, I don't want to hear it about the people complaining whenever I talk about James Rolfe or anybody in the Cinemassacre extended multiverse. You know, because, like, yeah, I know I've made a bunch of different kinds of content on here in the past, and maybe you subscribe because you like my Phil Collins content, or maybe you subscribe because you like my Corey Feldman stuff, or maybe it was for another video that's some random video I did years ago, or maybe you're only on here because anytime I talk about anyone in the Bimmy-verse, you know, it makes your nipples hard. Well, we do all the music show on Wednesday. I do whatever on Friday, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times it's probably gonna be some Bimmy thing, or in this case, Pat the NES Punk. This guy's name is Genovi, the user who made this video. Oh man, he's only got 15.6. I hate how they do this now with the sub count. They have to like use the decimals and all that shit, and they can't just say 15,600, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, if you like this guy's video, Genovi, you can go and sub to him. I'll put his name in the chat here. Video came out 2 years ago, April 18th, 2023. It's got 51,000 views. Yeah. So this was kind of one of the only videos that existed before mine that was like critical, like in like a little mini video essay document. Well, I wouldn't even say mini, I'd say like full-length documentary video essay, however you want to call it, because I hadn't seen anything that was hypercritical of Pat. This is the guy's name, putting in the chat here, Genovi. And then the last thing before we get to this video is I do have a Patreon. I'm definitely bringing that up more now than I normally would, because the Justin Silverman video that I busted my ass on making, where I expose all of the edgelordiness of Justy, Lusty, Musty, Crusty, that has been banned off of YouTube, and I've been given a warning on that one because it contained harassment and bullying. And it wasn't me that they were saying that was doing the harassing or bullying. It was all this fucking shit Justin was saying in the video clips that I was playing. He was using gamer words and being edgy as fuck. So they, yeah, it caused the video to get just smacked the fuck down. And I put a lot of work into that video, and I think you'd really enjoy it. So, This is the hot app on my Patreon. I'm putting the link in the chat here. It's a $5 tier to be able to see that video, but once you are in that $5 tier, I have like at least 20 videos that are exclusive to Patreon after you watch that one. And, you know, it's $5, you cheap bastard. So, yeah. Most of them are album reviews, but there's some other stuff in there that's worth watching. But the Justin one is, that's the one that if I could, I would have it on my main channel. Trust me, I would if I could. Because, like, I feel like that video would have done really fucking well. And it was already doing well the day and a half that it was on YouTube before it got removed. But it can only live on Patreon. Anyway, enough yapping. I guess let's watch this here documentary about Pat, and I can actually read some comments because I can't really fluently talk and read comments at the same time.
I bet you're wondering, how did it come to this? After all, around 2 years ago, Pat did a segment discussing a video of mine. Things seemed to be going smashing. The Mika was on the way out, and celebration would soon be in order. However, none of that mattered because something stood out above all the rest. Pat accused Brett Weiss, an incredibly small businessman, writer, and paid contributor to Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library, of fraud, and removed all 59 of his reviews from the book, citing this as the reason, in addition to his writing being unacceptable for publication.
This book has reviews in them. These aren't descriptions.
I like the AI generated Pat in the bottom right hand corner, or CGI Pat. Like, he'd be the shittiest wrestler in any of those N64 wrestling games.
The only book where it's a full library of reviews. We weren't sure he played through all the games he actually quote-unquote reviewed. And I didn't have the choice. I was in a pickle at the time to get extra writing in the book. So for the third revision, since the second print run had to come out right after the first because it was sold out, by the third print run, though, I was like, I don't trust these reviews. We're rewriting all of them.
So what's the real...
Yeah, Brett Weiss is like a big figure in the Pat the NES, Ultimate Guide to the NES book saga. He was a big, he was a big Contri. Brett Weiss has a lot of fans. I have noticed. A lot of people are pulling for this guy. I don't really know much about Brett Weiss, but yeah, I guess Pat felt like he didn't actually play the games, and like one of his contributors, to the book, he felt like I don't know, would his review be that fucking off to where it was like, I'm getting the feeling you never even played this game. So I don't know.
Story here. Did Pat knowingly push out a book full of unacceptable writings to meet an unrealistic deadline and make every sale possible for a book which was going to be in high demand and was going to benefit from releasing inside the same launch window as the NES Mini?
His writing came out, part of it, before the first print. The second print, Brett, again, I'll repeat this, I had to go back into print because it sold out nearly immediately on Amazon.
Or is this a personal and calculated attack based on lies, pettiness, and the desire to destroy reputations?
I don't know. Yeah, Junker says high demand in the comments. Yeah, I don't know how you figured that this book would be in high demand. I mean, I have no idea what the sales figures are on this book. I mean, what is he on his fourth revision? Meaning he's ordered a fourth batch, and before he orders the batch, he's like, while I'm here, let me go ahead and change around a few things I didn't like from the, other ones or whatever. So does that mean my first edition print of Pat's fucking book is inferior? Do I have an inferior product that I spent like 60 or 70 or 80 bucks on? I don't remember how much it originally retailed for. Yeah, I bought that bitch when it first became available because I really enjoyed the CU podcast and I had listened to it for a while, and I figured, hey, what the hell, let me support, someone whose content I've been enjoying for free all this time. Subscribe to my Patreon. The link is in the chat. Yeah, there it is. But no, I got that thing as soon as it was pretty much available, and I have, mine has all the Brett Weiss. Apparently I can sell it for like triple of what I bought it for. I don't know, we shall see, but I don't know, he's a YouTuber. He's not it's not like an official organization, you know, that put out this book. It's not like whoever put out all those guidebooks in was it Prima or Prime or whatever, that company that put out all those guidebooks in the 90s for like the Super Nintendo games and N64 games and shit. He's just Pat's just a YouTuber, and he had a bunch of friends that were willing to help him write this book. But like, you know, by no means was this like someone capable. And I mean, you know, not to say that, like, you know, there's that whole fucking thing with IGN with Philip Mucinex, the guy who used to be on the Prima, I thought so. He used to be on the Spawnwave podcast. And this Philip guy worked for IGN, and I'm sure a lot of you guys fucking remember this story like it was yesterday. And Philip had like stolen whole cloth reviews from like smaller channels because he thought he could get away with it. One of these small channels at the time was called Boomstick Gaming, where he ripped off the entire Dead Cells review from the smaller channel, and he printed it out on IGN. Like the review of Dead Cells by Philip Mucin came out on IGN, and then like somehow or another, Boomstick Gaming, it got around to him that like that was his fucking review. And I think he posted on like Reddit or something. He's like, I think somebody from IGN just stole my review. What do I do? And then it became this big thing. So yeah, even the big boys can have these kind of mistakes or whatever. But you know, a funny thing about Boomstick Gaming, they were the smaller channel at the time. I came across their fucking channel the other day. That dude's got like 300,000 plus subscribers now, so like good for him. Because I think at the time he only had like maybe 15K or less, and that's why Philip thought he could steal from him. So yeah, and then Philip's like talking about, because people are like, oh, what else did you steal if you stole that review? And he made this like response video. He's like kind of clapping back. He's like, I would, you know, feel free to see if any of my other videos are ripped off, because they're not. So, you know, have fun trying to look for. No, then it turns out he ripped off like accessory reviews. Like I think one was for like a Madden game or some shit, and it was like that guy is a complete, like, he got laughed off the face of the earth after that happened. And yeah, anyway, wow, that was a tangent. Gotta stretch this 50-minute video out somehow.
Thing is, the book is more the end of the story, and we need to start at the beginning. This is Retro Impressions. Pat Contri, NES punk from Shill to Salesman.
Yeah. People wanted me to talk about that Cheetah Man 2, because Bimmy was involved in that as well. Yeah, I kind of forgot what the scandal was behind this particular controversy here. Controversy. But I know Bimmy was also involved in shilling this. I think it was a new old game for Cheetah Man 2. I just didn't include it because I didn't have any personal experience. Like all those shit in my Pat videos I had personal experience with. I had no personal experience with this particular thing, but it'll be interesting to see what it was about again.
In 1987, video rental stores were a hot commodity. Greg Pabbage had been involved in the media rental business since 1982 and decided to branch off into something new. Preview Video Sales Inc. was formed to deal in the reselling of used VHS cassettes. As the business grew, the concept expanded to purchasing bulk, used video games, and unmovable inventory, which he would redistribute it to stores such as Walmart and Blockbuster to be resold at a deep discount. It wasn't just Greg running the business, Randy Keller owned 25% as well. During this time, they had a meeting with Active Enterprises, the developer of a game called Action 52, where they discussed the potential of assisting with any unmovable stock and other distribution. Greg felt the terms laid out by Active Enterprises were outlandish, but before parting ways, he obtained a prototype cart for Action 52 for the NES.
He did not have pals to finish games in evidence, only a handful of what he called prototypes, of which I returned with one, which he was very reluctant to part with.
The unlicensed game would eventually release with less than 10,000 copies total in circulation. In 2001, Greg Pavich was sued by his old business partner, Randy Keller, for tortious interference with a business relationship, breach of fiduciary duty, and fraud. The business relationship had fallen apart years earlier after Pavich discovered Keller was embezzling company money, and this lawsuit centered around that breakup. A jury of 12 individuals decided the evidence was clear. Pavich had committed fraud, with a judgment for Keller at over $3.5 million. Pavich would appeal this, and while the ruling of fraud was not overturned, the monetary damages due Keller was reduced to zero. This brings us back to Action 52. It was a collection of 52 games considered epic for all the wrong reasons, really only discussed in the smallest of hardcore collector circles.
I've played this Action 52 game. I did my that Bimmy video, like AVGN games I always want to like try, like games that he's reviewed on his show that I always wanted to try myself, and Action 52 was like one of them. And yeah, it's as bad as he says it is. I mean, the games are pretty. They're like tech demos, like shitty tech demos for like what the NES could potentially do. I guess they could have been a shitty tech demo for the Atari at that point, because they're that bad.
In smaller circles, more interested in preservation and history, it's notable for being a bootleg of a bootleg, using a mix of stolen music, art, and code from other sources while layering in new but unpolished original content.
What was Action 52 on Genesis like? Was that like markedly better, or was it like just I know there's some nerds in the chat who's played Action 52 on Genesis. I have not. I've only played the NES one.
That was until AVGN did a video covering it in 2010, and this alone made it known to the general public as a game so bad you needed to experience it to believe it. With AVGN putting an enormous spotlight on Cheetahman, Greg Pavich saw an opportunity to make a quick buck and started looking into auctioning off his prototype cart. But after some discussion with the owner of VideoGameMuseum.com, it was discovered what Greg had was the earliest Action 52 prototype known, and it was special. Instead of Cheetahman in the 52nd slot, there was an alpha build for a game called Action Gamer, and because Greg had the only known copy in existence, discussions started on how he could monetize his gifted possession beyond a single sale.
The more I became involved in it, the more I learned about the fact that this could be duplicated.
A game, even a prototype, connected to a series that was now a hot commodity could be worth a ton more if you could bootleg it. And when he discovered that was possible, he did just that. In 2011, Action Gamer was stripped from the Action 52 cart and sold as a new release called Cheetahman 2: The Creation. It was an abandoned game concept with a couple minutes of gameplay included and nothing else. He sold 500 deluxe packs for $500 each and 1,000 single game packs for $200 each, netting $450,000 total. That is,
God damn,
if every copy was sold. And they apparently didn't, or he made more, as it's still being offered on his website for the now reduced price of $314 and $99 respectively.
what fucking... Who would buy that? Even if you're like a... It's a repro cart that's ridiculously expensive, that like even if you're a game collector, you could buy like an actual like legitimately good official NES or SNES game for less than that, or like that price, but it's like, you know, an Earthbound, or I think $350 is a little high for Earthbound these days, or it might be right at where Earthbound's at. I don't remember, but like, who the fuck would buy that, honestly? And it's a piece of shit game. At least the first Cheetahman was, and I know the second one probably is too. the consensus in the chat on the Sega Genesis Action 52, less space shooters, better graphics, but still boring as fuck. Renata, I don't know how the fuck you know about the Sega Genesis Action 52. Your level of nerddom runs much deeper than what I originally thought.
A year later, Greg was back at it. This time, he was going to issue a bootleg of the already dumped Cheetahman 2, an unreleased game that was in an early build state and couldn't be finished due to a litany of bugs. To help market this game to hardcore collectors, he hired Pat Contri, James Rolfe, and the Game Chasers to shoot a promo.
Brian Williams, you know those shirts are only available in XXXXL. That was funny.
Video and be official spokesman for the Kickstarter campaign. The campaign promised to bring on board the original team members from when the game was in production, make it so the game could be completed, and release a version that may not be good, but would eliminate the bugs, especially the game-breaking ones. The game would cost $60, and people had massive issues with it when the campaign launched. The main issues people had were as follows. They saw Greg as a scammer, looking for a quick buck due to his prior scam release. On that note, people felt offended by the $60 price for a bootleg release of a game that had already been dumped eons ago. James would even chime in on this, defending the $60 price by stating,
"Honestly, I paid $60 for the Nintendo World Champion reproduction cart that you saw in the NW episode, and that game didn't come with a box or comic book."
5 years later, Super Russian Roulette, a new and original game of the highest quality for the NES, launched its Kickstarter. The price? $55. I asked my good friend Voltar about the cost to produce 1,000 NES carts in 2012.
I remember Super Russian Roulette. Wasn't that like a NES like light gun game, like an original, like a original, like, or a game that was, you know, made to be played on the NES with a light gun? I think Pat was talking about it on his podcast a long time ago. I haven't thought about that game in forever. We need to have a stream where we shit on Red Cow Entertainment. They went downhill really fucking fast once they let their slobs take over the editing. Are you being for real right now? Is that a real sentiment? Frankie found out that I said that I was butthurt that they didn't mention me when they said Friends of Red Cow Arcade. He sent me a DM. He's like, hey, I could hear him saying this in his Frankie voice. Hey, don't be butthurt that, you know, we didn't, blah, blah, blah. He just legitimately forgot. I mean, you know. He said that's why I hate doing shout out videos, because I always forget someone. It's like, fair enough. Okay, now, man, a little bitch boy, you know who you are. Clip that and go show it to Frankie. No, I'd say it to his face, and by his face I mean Twitter DMs. No, I have no beef with Red Cow. I still enjoy their content. Whenever they talk about topics that are relevant to me, when they go off on that Marvel universe or some kind of Star Wars, whatever the fuck, I legitimately have no interest in that whatsoever. But when they do hone in on a topic that I'm interested in, I think there's some good perspectives there from Mr. Frankie Frayne.
And he said,
"Now we're going to complete our repair on this port by just introducing fresh solder into these joints, very, very slowly and gently, allowing it to wick in, and just like that, we're preparing this thing for fun times." Now wait a minute, look, $25 for a cartridge? Think whatever you want to about the group funding effort of Cheetahman 2, but look at that price breakdown analysis. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. In 2012 prices, if you were paying
Oh, I can't even read that. Damn. Yeah, I can't read that. I don't even... Maybe if I make the video... Because I'm kind of curious to see what... Oh, okay. Now I can kind of read it. Several have asked about project costs. So here goes a detailed breakdown of each item based upon our expected Kickstarter production of about 1,000 games. Carts, $24. Game box, 87 cents. Game label, 86 cents. Cheetah sticker, 55 cents. Comic, 39 cents. Instruction, walkthrough, 39 cents. I'm just going to assume I mean cents from now on. Styro, 50. Hologram security labels, 88. Custom. Okay. Kickstarter production cost, I'm assuming $3.30. Kickstarter / Amazon fees, $4.80. Total cost, $44 or $42 per game. Oh, shipping, $5.38. Freight is higher to Canada. Yeah, no shit, it's higher to Canada. As someone who shipped a lot of fucking Dancing with Ghost shirts to Canada, it's like triple the cost in shipping. And that's actually low. I mean, this prices have gone up with shipping at the post office. That $5.35 number he got there is pretty low for now. Shipping is like something like that. It's like at least $8 or $9 per thing. All right, large and in charge. Yeah, you wish. Canada wishes they were. They ain't in charge of shit, but the mooses and the syrup. You handle your mooses and manage your syrup, and we'll continue policing the world. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
$25 to produce a single cartridge, your overhead was outrageous and you weren't going to make any money. Nonetheless, in 2012, a cartridge like that, including the engineering fees to design the PCB, including the parts, including the production, including the assembly, I can't see the cartridge costing any more than $10 on the absolute high end. Maybe more closer to $9, maybe even more.
Oh! Cerebral P coming in with 50 Canadian. Fuck Pat Contri, long live Josh Can. Keep up the good shit, homie. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. God, that's enough to buy an apartment in Canada.
Closer to 8, depending on the fabrication house you went with. Nonetheless, if there's any evidence to suggest that the Cheetah Man 2 group fund was suspect, that price breakdown doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yes, this is still
as
a Pat
somebody
Contri
who
video.
produces printed circuit boards, and as somebody who designs electronics, I can tell you, don't know about that one.
Over a year before the Kickstarter was announced, a well-known ROM hacker named Paco-chan released and continued to update a patch that completely fixed the game. In the patch notes, he states,
"The final boss disappears too, and it's impossible to finish the game. Now, all that is fixed and the game can be completed with no problems."
Was this legal? We'll come back to that. With that in mind, the attention turned to Pat Contri, the Game Chasers, and James Rolfe. Their communities wanted to know why they were selling out their fan base, shilling for what appeared to be a scam, and if they valued money over integrity. As the Kickstarter video was uploaded to and promoted on the Game Chasers and AVGN's YouTube channels, in addition to the campaign receiving promotion on Pat's thepunkeffect.com website, the blowback was inescapable. Mike Matei, the co-producer, writer, and director for Angry Video Game Nerd, who was not okay with the negative comments or the channel's involvement, posted this statement.
"I personally do not believe in this project.
He's got the Loco Bandito hat on. That's cute.
I don't understand why anybody would need $65K to make a hack game. Besides that, there's already a fixed version of the game floating around. What kills me is the whole point of AVGN, Action 52/Cheetah Man, was to make fun of how this game was a ripoff. And here we are, ignorantly supporting what we're against."
And with that,
Damn, that's very anti-party line of him to say. Well, good for him, I guess.
Pat Contri and company went into full damage control. Their promo videos were pulled down off of the Game Chasers and AVGN
Manuel
channels,
Matai.
followed by James posting a statement on his blog.
In addition, I'd like to explain. On Cinemassacre, we usually run advertisements for things like Burger King or something like that. So when I was asked to promote a game that I reviewed as AVGN, it sounded like a cool idea.
Pat even updated his promo post, scolding Mike Matei and everyone who was concerned about this project being a scam.
Mike's comment on YouTube about not supporting the Kickstarter was a knee-jerk panic reaction to the wave of negative criticism at the time. That was not James's opinion. Mike was not clued in on the production costs of the game, and unfortunately listened to the ignorant comments out there from people who had no idea what an NES reproduction cart was or the production costs involved in making said cart. I always figured the cost of the project was somewhere in the $40 to $45 range per cart, so I saw no problem with the project or the fact that Greg was making some profit for his time and effort. People have gotten on me for disabling comments on the Kickstarter video, as they have with Mike. But why should I have to read and accept comments that are filled with blind hatred, ignorance, and are spreading false lies about James, me, and the project?
Even though most of this has been scrubbed from the internet, some things still remain, including the Kickstarter promotional video featuring everyone mentioned. There's also Game Chasers episode 15, which contained what was essentially a 10-minute paid promotion teeing up the Kickstarter, which launched just 3 months later.
You know what? That's what we're going to watch after this, is an episode of Game... I've never seen an episode of Game Chasers, so that's what we're going to watch after this.
Thanks to the hard work of Pat, James, and the Game Chasers, the campaign was a smashing success, netting $94,000, well exceeding its goal. As promised, the game started shipping and backers quickly discovered the ROM used was a slightly altered version of Paku-chan's fix from 2011.
Paku-chan, what a weeb-coded username, Jesus Christ.
You see, Paku-chan's fix was still a work in progress, with its final release coming 4 years after the Kickstarter ended in 2016. From bug fixes to spelling and grammar, the corrections completed versus the ones still waiting in queue were identical. So, was it a scam? If we dismiss something very important we've yet to discuss, it certainly fits the billing for fraud and without a doubt can be classified as scummy business dealings where someone is financially taking advantage of people just like Pat by using Pat and other trusted...
Oh my god, he looks like a fucking transgender. Gone horribly awry here. God, Pat is a scary looking guy. He looks like fucking J.D. Vance's a bastard Italian fucking illegitimate stepson. He's got like the natural eye. I mean, I'm one to talk, right? You know, look how I look. I'm one to fucking talk, but still though. Oh, $9.99 US from Jen Stowe. Tribute for Josh. Thank you so very much. You and your money are the reason that I do this. All right, bitch boy, make a clip of that too and post it on your stupid channel with 10 subscribers. Bitch boy is too much of a bitch to actually get his name mentioned, but he knows who he is.
Community members to shill a product to individuals who have a similar...
Pat looks like Liza Minnelli. I was like pulling out the ether. I was like, what does this motherfucker look like? Yes, Liza Minnelli for sure. That is an old man cuck face. You rarely see old man cuck faces, so it's nice to see one.
...need to collect it all. This group of friends chose to accept this job and help push their audiences into a scumbag opportunist pocket. They quickly swept it under the rug and used their position of authority within the community to shut down any discussion. To put it another way, Pat Contri and friends were okay shilling for a questionable product for monetary gain by exploiting their audiences by endorsing a $60 scam for a bootleg game. However, there's a bigger issue we've yet to discuss. Did Greg have legal rights to reproduce this game and market it? In 2012, people who asked this question would be banned, hidden, and blocked from forums, YouTube channels, and comment sections within certain websites. You see, Raul Gamla and Vince Perry created Cheetahman, and according to...
Yeah, what is... I posed this question in my Lusty Justy Silverman video, which the only way you can... It's too hot for YouTube, apparently. I would love for it to be on YouTube, but it can't be. So if you want to watch that video, consider subscribing to my Patreon. Just put the link in the chat. In my Justin video, I'm just like... Because Justy had his friend Bob McGran. And he was like a creepy old guy. And Frank... Pat's old guy. They all have one, like a pet. Like my pet old guy. Frank isn't creepy at all. Frank's based as fuck, okay? I like Frank. Frank is like the only fucking based part of Pat's whole universe, but I still don't get I don't get the old man companion thing. Weird to me. Daddy issues perhaps. It's too fucking hot in here. I'm turning on the goddamn air conditioning. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And you don't stop. It's like a 187 on a motherfucking cop.
To multiple sources, they never sold it or licensed those rights to anyone at any time. In fact, I confirmed with Eli, the owner of Pico Interactive, the person who many considered the top expert in retro game IP rights and holders about the Cheetahman IP. He informed me Cheetahman, as an IP, was indeed still owned by the widow of Vince Perry, his son, and Raul. Eli even shared that he had unsuccessfully tried acquiring the rights to the IP numerous times, but it was really hard to get all three owners on the same page, as it appeared that Raul didn't want to be found, as he informed Eli that he was the first person to ever reach out and try to acquire those IP rights. In fact, here's a post where Greg states he's unsure who the owners are.
Is he still going on about Cheetahman 2? I'm kind of bored of this topic.
If you put the ROM out there and then offered to sell
Ian. Everyone loves Ian. Ian the cock. Yeah, these are weird fucking... I don't believe these are AI. This is some kind of weird computer graphics, Illustrator, some kind of mock-up thing. Ian's looking fucking... Ian's looking a little bent up here. A little dented.
Productions to people who wanted it on a physical medium. Fine. That's a gray area where I'm okay with it, but at least don't immediately profit off of someone else's shit.
Okay, thank God we're going to another topic.
It's time to talk about NES guidebooks, and what better place to start than with the first ever Nintendo guide containing full descriptions, colored screenshots, and box art of every NES game. A book that's often been emulated, a book by none other than...
Wait, you must be talking about me, Contri, author, podcaster, video game historian, D-list celebrity, and cameo content creator.
No. That concept...
Oh yeah, I wish in my Pat video, I wish I had mentioned something about his cameo stuff. 'Cause who the fuck would want a cameo from Pat Contri? But I never mentioned it anyway.
Concept and book layout for the NES was first done by Jeff Wittenhagen.
Jeff Wittenhagen, I like his work. I have his Super Nintendo guidebook. Is it behind me? Why, yes it is. Yes, alright. See, this is not a fancy guidebook by Mr. Jeffrey Wittenhagen, but look at this shit. You open it up. You see how short the reviews or the synopsis is? And then it's got one screenshot, and then it has a box in the bottom of like if you have it or whatever. It's got the that's all you need. That's all you need. Just give me some and the paper, I'm telling you right now, the paper is like computer printer quality. Like, you see how there's no gloss? This is like computer paper, literally, mate. So, like, yes, Pat's book by a country mile is flashier, fancier, but man, that book that I just showed you is a way better read, way more enjoyable.
Collecting icon and critically important contributor to the community. If you were on Nintendo Age from 2009 on, you likely saw him going by the name The Subcon 3. Over the course of a decade, he would contribute...
Oh, wait, he's not about to call Jeffrey Wittenhagen a pedophile, is he? Because now I'm going to feel real stupid about glazing his book just now.
Over 4,400 posts.
That was a joke, by the
game
way.
Collecting and special projects intended to help fill holes in the community's resource needs. One such project, known about on Nintendo Age in 2013 and discussed on his blog in May of 2014, was an NES book that may sound similar to one released in 2016.
I'm going to be making a second book, which is going to be a series of books focusing on collecting for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
The book was officially announced as ready for release on May 22, 2015. On June 26, Jeff Wittenhagen launched a Kickstarter campaign for the complete NES Collector's Book, which ended with 193 backers. Pat has never mentioned this book, even though he was an active member of Nintendo Age and discussed community-relevant Kickstarters on a regular basis during this period of the CU podcast. On November 21st, 2015, Pat's book was officially launched via Kickstarter with a public announcement made on the Nintendo Age forums. It netted $25,000 over 3 days, but pledges dropped by 50% on day 3. On the 24th, a promo video was published on Pat's YouTube channel, resulting in another $25,000 over 2 days. In the first 3 days of the campaign, he had 398 backers, and the first 3 days benefiting from his YouTube channel's promotion netted an additional 470. The campaign would end with 2,085 backers, an absolute juggernaut of a take. But not shocking, considering Pat's online presence in the original Nintendo collecting space, his self-proclaimed position as an NES expert, historian, and of course, his association with the angry video game nerd.
I just saw someone mention Dickers in the chat. Do you guys like how Rich from Review Tech USA has... he deleted his channel. He made some... one of the most meandering live streams I've ever fucking seen, talking about he was high off of his CBD seltzer water, and he's just talking about, no, the channel needed to die. It needed to die. And I don't care. You know? Look, it needed to be deleted. It had to happen. And I'm glad. And it's fine. If you don't like it, it's fine. I don't care. That's literally how his speech was in that fucking stream that I made you guys watch. I need girl stink. Sorry. That's a little inside joke there for the Discord. Fucking Discord trying to walk over here. Gotta go. Woke up this morning and got some gabago. Sorry. I'm having like a spurgy tangent right now. So he made this whole to-do about deleting his fucking Review Tech USA channel, and then like everyone was, their tizzies were in a frivolets. They were their nipples were spinning around and getting all tied up and shit. Like, oh my god, how can you delete... Oh, how are you gonna delete a 1 million subscriber channel? I can't believe you would have done that. Don't test me. Oh, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. Oh, you're making me so mad. I can't believe you did that. That was my Alex Jones just then, by the way. That guy's fucking nuttier than batshit. I mean, he always has been, especially these days, though. He's got that fucking heart attack face. It's any minute now, Alex Jones is gonna be like, they're killing the babies! They're killing the baby! Son of a bitch! Oh, God! Oh, my heart's killing me! Oh, like, and he's just gonna keel over on InfoWars, whatever. Whorls? Anyway, I say all that to say this. Rich has a new channel, I'm sure you guys know at this point, called Rich Tomorrow. Because that was basically like his nickname that he had been dubbed that he doesn't hate. He don't like Dickers. Don't call him Dickers. He especially doesn't like Officer Dickers. But Rich Tomorrow is a derogatory nickname that he's okay with. So he names his new channel Rich Tomorrow. And he's just doing Review Tech USA. He's covering gaming news. Like nothing ever happened. Like he's kind of like, I think he's like pretty ass blasted that he deleted his channel at this point. The high from the seltzer waters wore off, and now he's like, holy shit, I had 1 million subscribers. What the fuck was I thinking? These fucking shitty rap beats of mine aren't gonna save me. They're not gonna pay the bills. Well, time to talk about how Xbox is finished now. This is Rich from Rich Tomorrow. Skipping it up. You know, like, yeah, he's literally doing Review Tech USA, but his stupid ass deleted his 1 million+ subscriber channel. And now, I mean, granted, he's already got way more subs than I do. So, hey, what can I do but sit in the cuck chair over here? Bitch boy, make sure you clip that one. Yeah, he's approaching 100,000 subscribers because I enjoy watching some of his content. I know I made my video where I dissed his music and he got all fucking butthurt about it, you know, and he reacted to my video on one of his live streams and whatever. He didn't, his stupid ass or his high ass, I don't know. I don't think he's particularly stupid, but he seems to have some intelligence up in that thick noggin of his, but he misunderstood like 50 to 60% of the jokes I made in my video. He just completely went over his head and he did not understand it. Yeah, sorry, I had to go on a little side tangent about that. No, just look it up. Rich Tomorrow. It's Review Tech USA, but with like 1/10 of the subscribers he used to have. And he's still promoting his ASMR channel that I think is under 2,000 subscribers. Because why do you want to hear a really fat guy whispering in your ear about tech or assembling something or talking about your opinion of the new iPhone? It's awful. His ASMR channel is a fucking embarrassment. But yeah, I've seen some. I'll watch some Rich Tomorrow videos. You know, I was a fan-ish. I think that should be a term. Oh, Rich is live right now. Nice. I'm sure we're competing right now for audience share. No, he's still got you don't get to 1 million for nothing. People like your style. They like your man tits or the fact that you have those weird fake chickens and that Dr. Phil looking bald guy, and I don't know what any of that's about. But anyway, all right, let's get back to this. Sorry, a little sidebar there. Got to make this 50-minute video stretch out somehow. Got to stretch it out, with the thickness of Dancing with Ghosts.
Of the 2085, I was one of those backers. Brett Weiss, one of the book's contributors, shared correspondence showing his 60 reviews were submitted by May of 2015.
Wait, what is this? Thank you, Brett. I'm going through all your reviews again with next month or so and see if I have notes on any more. Let me know what you think on sending in anything for reflections for other games that you didn't write reviews for. You might have material, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Which he was hired to write a handful of months prior. The physical book was scheduled for delivery in March of 2016 with the...
All right, so what are they comparing when Jeff Wittenhagen released his thing compared to Pat? Oh, yeah. Yeah, when Rich started going off on the DK Oldies thing and it became, like, blatantly obvious that he's solely just pursuing the thing he knows that will get him views, I did check the fuck out at that point. Yeah, the DK Oldies. Today we're doing a video on DK Oldies. And they had that dumb fucking towhead looking blonde guy in all the thumbnails. I don't know if that's a southern term or not, but if you're a towhead, you're Caucasian with blonde hair. That's not some Arabic slang for the uninitiated who don't live in the South, the American South. I definitely checked out at that point. I was like, oh, Rich is grifting at this point. He's not doing things he's passionate about. He's trying to make the thing he knows is going to make him views. Says the guy who's made like 10 videos on Rex Viper and James Rolfe. Yeah, no, I did that because I have a passion for Rex Viper and their shitty music. I'm invested in them emotionally at this point. There was no look, you don't put all that editing into something that you're just trying to make money off of. If I felt like I could sit in front of the camera like he does with very minimal editing, I would, because that'd be awesome. But I like creating art, and I feel like editing is a form of art, and it's fun, and you can express yourself more through editing. All right, so Jeff's NES book comes out 2013. Pat's is mentioned in 2015. June 2015, Jeff's Kickstarter is launched. What, for his book. Oh, first mentioned. Gotcha. So Jeff is mentioning his NES book, Complete NES. Book promised by December 2015 for Jeff. Digital 2015 for Pat. Physical March 2016. All right. Let's see where we're going with this.
digital version guaranteed by December of 2015, the same month the campaign ended. A clear indication that it was done, but funds were needed to print it.
Sorry, I gotta still go with the rich thing. His obsession with Darkside Phil, I can't do it. I don't know what the purpose is of it. I'm not in on the joke. I don't understand anyone who's still actively obsessed with DSP. Like, is he that like, I mean, I could understand if it was like Boogie or something, because he's always like, man, I don't know if it's kayfabe or not with Boogie, but if it is, that motherfucker's really good at like always coming up with the next fucking pathetic thing for you to laugh at. You know, from his meltdown on Locale Live, where he's like, I want to die, help me, I hate my life, like, that shit was gold. I love that shit. He's just, and he's like in his 50s doing that shit. I might have to pull that up after this, actually. Yeah, I think I definitely want to see that moment.
December passed and Pat missed the release date. An official delay was announced in January, citing factors outside of his control. The new date for shipment from the printer for the physical book was moved to April
Josh is full of surprises.
with the digital version set for early February. A few updates more, and we are in the second week of March when the digital version finally releases. Feedback is swift, and there are substantial errors being shared. It's clear that the book is a mess, and Pat is leaning heavily on his Kickstarter supporters to give editorial feedback. It's speculated this release is a draft copy due to the massive amount of mistakes being shared in public forums, with more issues likely being sent via DMs. Between the digital release and the announcement that the physical book was ready to print on May 27, 2016, the digital version was revised 3 times. But there are still some major issues that Pat wouldn't be addressing before going to print. Still, it seems Pat has welcomed the community's feedback and their service as free copy editors. The revisions are not clearly listed, and the ones which are contain generic references, items consisting of grammar, spelling, duplication, and formatting errors. There's also a fair amount of problems related to poor research and fact-checking. By August, the book started shipping via a third-party distribution service. I received mine on September 26th, and it was in really sorry shape. I sent Pat a message via Kickstarter, receiving nothing but silence in return. Comments started rolling in, showing folks have...
All right, let's see what this guy sent to Pat. Thanks, Pat. The PDF looks great, but it was generated so that the pages are grouped together. That means that page 2 of the PDF is both page 2 and 3 from the book. Page 3 of the PDF is page 4 and 5 of the book. That makes it difficult to scroll to a specific page. Amazing book, Pat. Very nice. Just wish the exterior wasn't damaged. It's soon to ask, but any chance for a sequel? I know your main focus is on NES, but I would die for one of these about the N64 library. Oh, he'd have to wait a hot minute for that one. The N64 library, a console and a library that Pat notoriously has admitted many times that he does not play and is not a fan of. And I don't blame him. I made a whole ass video like 5 or 6 years ago about why I dislike, I think I said why I hate the Nintendo 64. I don't hate it. I just don't really fuck with it. I think it was that awkward teenager transition from 2D to 3D graphics. I think they nailed it on the GameCube. But yeah, Pat, I like how Pat made a whole guidebook about it, and both he and Ian have gone, expounded at length as to their dislike for this console and them not really playing it or knowing much about it.
Similar issues, and they were not receiving replies. Someone posted an email for those that felt ghosted by Pat, so I emailed him a couple of times over the course of a few weeks, then finally gave up, realizing I was being ignored and wouldn't receive help. The campaign had a few detractors, wondering what purpose the book really served. Some people pointed out that the complete NES already existed, though not as gaudy or grandiose in its presentation. It had a nearly identical layout, with the ability to track your collection's progress, something usually reserved for text documents at the time. The other was regarding Questicle.net, and its owner Dylan having already reviewed every single NES game, a project started in 2010 and finished in 2014. Dylan's was a free resource, posted online in a very clean, clear, and easy to search format. There was one other thing. The book's main author. People on Nintendo Age had mixed feelings about Pat, as he was continuously running down just about everyone and anything, including that forum, its users, his family members, old friends, childhood schoolmates, and just about anyone else he deemed as unfit. The truth is, not a lot of people who know Pat like him.
It is a community.
Yeah, I found that to be true in my research as well. For my Pat video that I made.
People many times throughout the year, so we're friends first for sure.
Man, I guess you're lucky. I mean, like you said, not everyone works out, but in general, you found a nice, solid group. And I'm sitting here in San Diego. This isn't a woe is me. There's like no one out here. Ian has his job at the store, and he's heard a lot. And the other collectors in San Diego, most of them don't like me, so it's like it's a rough spot. But whatever. That's why I like talking to you guys. I'll live vicariously through someone like you that has a nice community.
Campaign aside, the book was...
I remember that episode of Metal Jesus on Pat's Not So Common podcast before he got that insufferable host Alex, or co-host Alex, who I just can't stand, honestly. I liked the Not So Common podcast when he just had other YouTubers on there and talked to them, but yeah, Metal Jesus is like just this like Captain Positivity all the time, so when Pat was going on about how like, yeah, nobody likes me in the gaming community, Metal Jesus is like, well, I don't know what to say to that. Okay, you know what? Let's not be negative. Let's move on. Hi guys, Metal Jesus here. Today we're going to talk about some hidden gem moments from the Not So Common podcast I did with Pat Contri. He released a book recently called Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library. Now, I gotta say, this is a nice book. Very glossy, heavy, love it. I love books like this. I go crazy for them. Now, anytime I can try to mimic Metal Jesus' weird cadence, I will take that opportunity.
Was mostly well received. I say mostly because I firmly believe people felt they were backing an NES fan passion project by a diehard NES YouTuber. If other backers felt like I did, we were just happy to help someone.
I am curious as to who in the Metal Jesus harem of girls, who he did boink. I don't think Kelsey would have let that schlong anywhere near her hot little Asian American girl box, but Kinsey perhaps. He had some like goth chick on there, like back in the early days, the 2010s era of Metal Jesus. He had some goth girl on there who was kind of cute. He's had like many a whomans on his show, which, you know, what's the big deal? They're just women, Josh. Well, for a nerdy video game collector, that's quite the fucking feat to have like more than like 2 chicks in your videos. I mean, that's big for that community. That's like, whoa, you've got, girls? Where'd you meet those girls? That's crazy. Yeah, Kelsey will always be my first love, honestly. Sometimes these chicks are just distractingly hot in his videos. I was like, I can't focus. I need to goon. Yeah, sorry, anyway.
Achieve a goal beneficial to the community and didn't care to look at it via an overly critical lens. Others didn't feel the same. Here's a lengthy review.
Even having one chick and no bulls is a feat. Jesus Christ. That's funny.
Review from 2017 that encapsulates the feeling of just about every person within a more passionate segment of the community. Issues like tons of spelling and grammar errors, even after multiple revisions supported by backers who paid for the privilege to help fix bad work. Pat positioned himself as an NES authority and game historian, then straight up published things even general enthusiasts knew to be untrue, such as when he stated in his Tailspin review, which he wrote,
"It's a great licensing opportunity for a video game, so I'm going to chalk up Capcom's shortcomings here to the fact that they typically don't do shooters."
Many also felt Pat's contributions were the weakest in the book due to his heavy reliance on discussing negative childhood experiences, which clearly shaded his reviews and reflections. Now,
like, why you gotta bring negative childhood experiences into, like, all your reflections, you know? Because it wasn't enough that he had lengthy ass... I mean, he made his life so much more harder on himself writing these fucking books. I just showed you that Jeffrey Wittenhagen Super Nintendo guidebook, and it's like one paragraph per game, one screenshot. You just fire through that shit, man. When you're taking a dump, you have it in the bathroom on the fucking little little table that you have in front of your shitter for you to put books on. You just blast through that fucker. Quick, easy, fun, easy breezy, beautiful cover girl experience. Pat's got to do like 2 or 3 paragraphs per game, and then he has to have a separate reflections part where, like, whoever wrote about the game has to include a personal, like, story behind their experience playing the game. It's like, dude, why did you have to make it so... Why'd you have to go and make it so fucking complicated? It just feels overwhelming to read. Cerebral P, Josh, are you pimping your Halloween gig at the end of the stream? Oh, you talking about my show that my band did on Halloween? Are you asking if I'm going to play that? I maybe I could. Yeah, I mean, I could. The fucking screen. Anyway, the screen didn't work, but I could do that potentially. See how uncomfortable I got just then? I don't feel like it was one of our best shows, to be honest. There wasn't anything particularly. It was just like the screen. The screen didn't work for our visuals, and that pissed me off. And then there was some fuck ups here and there, and this is probably just me being too critical, but yeah, anyway.
I can understand taking a position on any of these points and find it absolutely unacceptable as an editor to let such an unpolished, unprofessional product ship out knowing it had so many problems. If you're not capable of the job, hire someone who is. It's also embarrassing to position yourself as an NES and third generation gaming expert yet consistently get easy facts wrong. However, the criticism of Pat as a writer, his use of his friend Kevin in 11 of his reviews, or people taking issue with his writings being 1 star too high or too low, is mostly a matter of opinion and debate. Shadow5555 felt the review scores were not correct, but a ton of people feel that way about a ton of games, often leading to marginal swings within the average, with some outliers. Around the time the book released, I started to hear stories from multiple unconnected people who volunteered at the SoCal Retro Gaming Expo in California that Pat demanded exclusivity on the trade floor to sell his book if he was to attend the event in 2017.
What a little bitch, as Carl Jobs might say.
I've heard similar stories of larger YouTubers doing this in the sense of an exclusive timed period when asked to review games. For this video, I reached out to multiple sources to once again confirm the details of this story, and they did just that. Jeff Wittenhagen reached out for a spot and was told by Chris of SoCal Retro,
"Thank you very much for all the information you've provided. We will keep you in mind once we begin planning for our next expo in February."
These character illustrations. Motherfucker had like a cardboard box in his head just then for that little illustration there in the right-hand corner. I don't know where he gets these from.
This was not true. In fact, Jeff would reach out multiple times, having his communications ignored until the expo was sold, when he finally obtained a booth at the 2023 show. This seemed rather petty, as people close to the situation confirmed Pat had been in contact with Jeff, who shared tips and pointers he learned along his journey to help Pat self-publish his book. I say rumor because though I've confirmed the facts, the rest is a matter of opinion. The individuals involved are reluctant to go on record and have their receipts publicly shown. The thing is, I was there. I'm from Southern California. I know about the backroom dealings, the people involved, and the promises that were made and not kept. I've met and hung out with 8-Bit Eric's cupcake-making girlfriend at the time. It sounds stupid, but what I'm trying to say is while I'm not friends with these guys, our circle of friends and acquaintances would create a Venn diagram Vice President Kamala Harris would be proud to share. I know the scummy and unethical stuff done by these influencers to those working behind.
Look how pissed Pat is even being in a picture with this guy. Those are angry dimples. Those aren't like happy smiley dimples. Those are dimples of anger, which I didn't even know was a thing that existed.
Behind the scenes from 2017 to 2019 at this show, those who have game shops, help with conventions, create related media, or do this as a hobby to zero fanfare. And you'll be hard pressed to find a soul who has a positive opinion of Pat or some of his friends due to past interactions with them. I can also appreciate not wanting a vindictive and vengeful human with access to 250,000 subscribers, a person who has no ability to forgive those he feels have wronged him from doing what he's always done: punch down, damage reputations, and do what's required to not admit fault. So why is any of this important? One word: hypocrisy.
When Brett used to ask me when we were producing the NES book, for example, where do you get your screenshots from? I said, well, a chunk came from Moby Games. So he would ask me these things, and I thought it was innocent, like, hey, I just want to know the process. Brett never told me at the time that he was planning to do a Super Nintendo book at the time. And not like Brett was obligated to legally, but the fact of the matter is Brett knew I was going to eventually do a Super Nintendo book, and Brett gleaned information off of me in order to do the future book, because his Super Nintendo book and NES book use Moby Games screenshots, for example.
So what, dude? Like, make yours better. You know, there's only so much you can say about something that's already existed in the past for like 30 or 40 years. Maybe not 40 years, but 30 years. Like, it's so stupid. Like, when people get in these little bitchy retro, like, fights over retro games, it's like, first of all, neither one of you motherfuckers ever designed or developed shit. You're just writing about something way more talented people thought of and created. And that's like fucking writing a guidebook about, like, Coca-Cola products throughout the years, which is a fucking book I would buy, by the way. That was just off the top of my head. But it's like, oh, fucking John over there was asking me where I got my high-quality screenshots of all these Coca-Cola products. And then he puts out his book, and it's got those fucking... I didn't take the pictures, you know, some other third party, Moby Games at this point. Shout out to Moby, by the way. Great album. First album I ever bought with my own money. I didn't take the picture even. I just knew of the website, and I told you about it, and then you went and used that resource, and now I'm mad at you for it. That makes so much sense. Like, God, Pat's such a... What a territorial little bitch, as Carl Jobst might also say.
That was from 2000.
Yeah, Moby's an amazing gamer. Everybody knows that. Sure, he makes techno music, but he's a gamer first, and all the real fans know this.
23. But if we go all the way back to 2015, when Pat's book was still active on Kickstarter, we can see hypocrisy alive and well. On the very Nintendo Age post that Pat created to promote his book, Jeff Wittenhagen chimed in defending Pat's use of non-original images via Moby Games and informed someone asking for an SNES guidebook his would be released in late 2016 or early 2017. These were not secrets. These were stated facts discussed in public in a Nintendo-specific forum well before Pat's book was ever finished. Further, it wasn't exactly clear another book was on the horizon, and to be quite frank, if the first one didn't make so much money, I don't think anyone believed Pat would be interested in doing an SNES, N64, or even a Sega Genesis follow-up, being he wasn't really a console gamer outside of the NES and third generation of systems.
Yep.
He was, and remains to this day, a shelf collector and casual gamer at best.
Yep.
Why do I need it though? And you always say that about everything I buy, but this is my love though. This is a console as a kid. I didn't have N64 as a kid. Super Nintendo, I had like 8 games and played the computer more.
And we know all the other things he was deprived of. If you watch my Pat Twitch stream video, which maybe I'll just put that fucking thing on after this one as a compendium piece. Yeah, man, Pat was a deprived motherfucker as a kid. When he finally moved out of his house and went over to San Diego, he was gaunt. He was like a goddamn Guatemalan. Like he was beaten and tarred and feathered and deprived of the basic necessities. Oh no, wait, it was like a child's robe, a Happy Meal, a Carvel ice cream cake. Oh yeah. Oh no, he's just a entitled, like, mentally challenged, developmentally challenged adult.
I'm never gonna play him. I'm not gonna play him.
Yeah.
I know that.
The success of the book, Pat had raked in $600,000 worth of physical book sales alone.
What? $600,000? Goddamn. He charged a good bit. Like, I don't know, for a book like that, I don't know if any of you guys in the chat own this Pat book, but it's like, fucker's like 10 pounds. So, I mean, shipping alone, you're eating your balls, and I don't know. I'm too stupid to know the economics behind any of that shit, because I sell t-shirts, and that's about the only thing that I mail out, which weigh nothing, and I'm still paying like $8 to ship it to like Texas, you know. I mean, the margins are good on the shirts because they're like nothing. It's like a piece of fabric, but like a fucking book that weighs like that much, I don't know. That just seems like a shipping disaster just from that point alone. 600,000, goddamn. Okay, now I know, I guess, how he's able to afford to live in San Diego. Although 600,000, that'd probably pay for your rent for maybe 2 years in San Diego until that ran out.
In under 2 years. I can't help but feel this influenced Pat to adopt a more mainstream position to better fit the salesman persona needed to market himself as he moved away from strictly being a paid shill. Remember his position regarding the production and sale of bootlegs back when he shilled for the Cheetahman 2 game? After the book became a hit, his position took a 180.
That would have been vaporware, yeah, potentially. And then you're out, you know, thousands of people spending, $400 or $350 with shipping, and just that sickens me to think that someone wants to do that to the quote-unquote community and the hobby that we love. Mm. So if I'm going to be overzealous, so be it. If Ian's going to be overzealous about something like that, all for it. Calling out like this, calling out people selling reproduction carts, calling out scumbag sellers of the week, I don't f***ing care. I'm going to do it.
So you may not know about
that tone at the end. I don't fucking care. I'm gonna do it. That kind of like hubris tinged tone, that never ages well. That always comes back to bite you in the ass when you're like, you know what, guys? I've decided that I don't give a fuck if you like me covering MTVMAs or not on my live streams. I like it. I'm gonna do it. Fuck you. Like that never ages well. It ages like a fine milk. Like it always, you go back and, you know, one way or another, you eventually embarrass yourself. And then, you know, people will take clips like that and, yeah, you look like a fucking moron. Because it's like, wow, the cockiness and hubris there. When clearly you were shilling for this very Cheetahman thing, a few years earlier?
Brett, even though he had 59 reviews published in Pat's book.
Yeah, the VMAs was a weak example, but that's all I had to... Because I am so sinless and untouched by the hands of the world and the devil that there was really no sinful thing I could pull up in my mind off the top of my head.
Some of which were referenced on the CU podcast. Until 2023, Pat only mentioned Brett once by name in 2016 while promoting the NES book. The long and short of that segment was Pat, the book, and anyone associated with him is amazing. All other NES book offerings, such as Jeff's The Complete NES, are crap you need to avoid. So buy a certain guidebook and ignore all the others.
People were clamoring for a well-produced, well-researched, sturdy video game guidebook. There's a lot of stuff out there that either the materials, I wouldn't say, are 100% having held some of them and gone through them.
Yes, Jeffrey Wittenhagen's books, they're made from computer paper. They're like literally paper you print off your computer printer. They are not. This is not a. This is not a high quality book materials wise. He is correct about that. These pages feel like they could rip at an instant. But if you're not a 3-year-old and you know how to navigate a book, if you know how to explore the pages of a book, I'm just looking at all the dog ears. You can't really see all the dog ears that I have on this book because I was into it. I read the whole thing and I wanted to dog ear certain pages because I was like, oh, I want to go back to that. Like, I don't know why the fuck I dog eared this particular page. Oh no, man! It's like this is like an indie book, man, independent, bro. Like it's not the fanciest thing in the world, but it's a hell of a lot better read than Pat's book is. So I will say that.
And definitely the writing on some is not up to snuff. So
the writing on some is not up to snuff, says the guy who's putting out the fourth edition of his NES. A complete ultimate NES guidebook where he is still making changes and edits and format changes and all that kind of shit. Hey, the arrogance of this motherfucker, it's really annoying.
I know I'm a decent writer at the very least, and I know I have the talent to see the good in other writers. I've hired good writers to help fill it out. Ian's a pretty good writer, and others that filled in the gaps here. Brett Weiss did great jobs.
Considering this, the picture of Brett is fuzzy, with the main reference being one Pat created. Let's fix that. Brett is an author and businessman who sells his writings. It's how he makes a living. Everything he does, including YouTube, is a promotion of that. Earlier in life, Brett wrote articles for various papers around Texas. He later moved into magazines and started publishing books, including his first video game related one, Classic Home Video Games 1972 to 84, a complete reference guide, which was released in 2007, followed by several other video game related books. Before he wrote for Pat, their work appeared in the same magazine. From 2013 to 14, both Brett and Pat contributed written articles to Retro Video Game Magazine, alongside a slew of others. Brett comes off, and I don't say this to be rude but factual, from the community's perspective, he's not well liked. He is a living meme in what I call the retro underground community, with the "buy my book" tagline that is attached to him. He would likely sell a ton of merch if he just leaned into it. While many might not like Brett.
Really? I did not know that Brett was not well liked in the retro game community. I thought he was I don't know, this is one guy he hasn't commented on my shit in a while. Sweet and salty something. He's obsessed with Pat the NES Punk. Sweet Nintendo Hooligan, that's his name. He's got a very small channel, but he's always glazing Brett Weiss, and I was like, all right, well, maybe this guy is just well-liked and there's something that I don't know. But according to this guy, he's not. I don't know.
Pat and Brett, along with a handful of others in this community, are nearly identical, though it could be argued that Brett is emulating the things that Pat does to a lesser effect. Both Brett and Pat are doing this as a full-time job, hustling to sell every book and nab every view possible. Nearly every video is a means of advertisement to further their reach and keep their boat above water. When speaking with Brett for this video, I asked if he would have taken the job had it not been a paid gig, and he said no, he wouldn't have accepted a non-paid gig.
Frothy Sauce, a $2 super chat, hadn't seen that in a while, and by that I mean money. Brett simply has no charisma, he's a dull person. Does he have like a YouTube channel? Is he like a YouTube person? I thought he was like a writer or something.
And that's Brett. He is who he seems to be on camera, a guy who's upfront about what he's selling while feeling there's plenty of water in the pond to have his own area. They're both there to make money, and if that money dried up, they'd both be gone to greener pastures. When you deal with Brett, you know up front you're talking to a car salesman, and that's not always the case, as I'll be discussing in another upcoming video on a certain scale model arcade company. He's like the person on the first floor of your local mall, trying to sell you on some sort of new phone plan or repair. You may strongly dislike that person and even actively avoid them while talking smack, but there's no question about who they are. I think it's important to understand that dynamic because Pat is essentially the same guy. For nearly a decade and a half, Pat's been a used car salesman in the retro game space, continuously putting himself and profit above everything else. Pat's kind of like Richard Nixon, the Richard Nixon of YouTube. He could win by just doing what he does. He's a solid podcast host that has real potential to catapult beyond the numbers he's stagnated at. But like Nixon, he appears fixated on using underhanded tactics to monopolize the space, demonize his competition, and attack their reputations, even though they're a blip on the map when compared to him.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be a podcaster though. He wants to be a writer. That's what that's always been his like exit strategy from YouTube as he rockets into old age. Like he wants to grift on Twitch and he wants to be a writer. He doesn't really want to do YouTube anymore. He tried it, you know, he got more successful than a lot of YouTubers do, but he never like reached a point. I don't think Pat ever even touched like making fuck you money on YouTube. Like I think that he probably made, you know, he probably got to a point where he was making like a few thousand a month off of his YouTube channel. But like his Pat the NES Punk character was just terminally unfunny. The podcast, much like fucking most podcasts, are decent if they're talking about a topic that's interesting. But, you know, I'd say with most podcasts in general, like 60% of the time, they're not talking about something that you're particularly interested in. You're just holding out for that 40%. Where you're like, oh, okay, now I'm engaged. Now I like what they're talking about. But like with the CU podcast, like my God, especially back in the older days when they talk about wrestling for like half the fucking podcast, it's like, oh my God, dude. I stopped watching wrestling in like 99 or 2000, 2001 at the latest. I don't give a fuck about the CM Punk or Roman Reigns and all these new fucks that I don't keep up with. They would just talk about this shit for so long. It's like, I don't think Pat... I think Pat did the best he could on every podcast, and it wasn't that good. So I like... The creator of this video is talking about, oh, Pat could have, you know, if he had really leaned into the podcast, he could have made like a really good podcast. It's like, no, I think he leaned in as much as he could or was willing to do, and that you got what you got. And it started out, I think in like 2015, 2016 is around when I first started listening to CU podcast. It was pretty good. I liked when they talked about the Wii U for some reason. That was a big topic at the time. And then when they started getting on talking about like WADA and all that crap, I literally officially checked out mentally at that point. It's like, oh, the guy who owns like pretty much every single North American NES game is super invested in this video game grading company. Gee, I wonder why that is, you know? But like the rest of us out here who like maybe have 30 or 40 NES games, do we care that much about it? No, because we don't have a fucking vested interest in it. And yeah, I know WADA's a shitty company, yada yada yada, but like it was a boring topic. It's something I've already talked about ad nauseum in my other video.
Getting mad at someone for doing a book that's similar to yours, which is already comparable.
His heart is a fucking sewage pump. Classic Ian line right there. PewDiePie didn't deserve that.
To hundreds of other review and guidebooks, because it's on a topic you want sole rights to, is called gatekeeping. Attacking someone who's an easy target due to being virtually unknown by painting a fraudulent narrative is quite despicable. If your book is better marketed, or suits a need, people will buy it. And with Pat's book, he hit one of those marks, so they did. The book delivered to backers was clearly unfinished and misrepresented during the Kickstarter campaign. The book shipped prior to being ready for prime time. The necessity of hitting a late deadline while sacrificing the quality of the product was fully understandable, as Nintendo was launching their NES Mini on November 11th that same year. A well-positioned, freshly published guide to the NES library by a self-proclaimed expert would benefit from that association.
His writing came out, part of it, before the first print. The second print, Brett, again, I'll repeat this, I had to go back into print because it sold out nearly immediately on Amazon Thanksgiving weekend.
I do not remember any drama between you two when you pulled the first ones out. They were just rewritten because they weren't very good.
Look at that. Look at that Pat face. I thought the Amico, the Talarico Amico, I thought those were some of the better episodes. I thought that kind of like saved the podcast there for a while, especially like I feel like the redemption arc kind of came for them a bit, like when it was all, they were proven to be 100% correct in their assessment of like what was going to happen with the Amico and what ended up actually happening, and calling out Tommy as a fraud. Meanwhile, you had all these like, Tommy had this shit where he was going on the smallest YouTubers YouTube channels and granting them interviews, even all the way up to Rich from Review Tech, and Rich was like stoked to talk to him and did multiple times, I feel like. And Pat and Ian were kind of the only people, to their credit, they were kind of the only people who were like staunchly standing behind. Probably one of the only times they like stood behind something on principle and was like, no, this is a crap product. There's not really a market for it. All the ideas are stupid. The controller doesn't work. The games are just these little cards that they're like what, RFD cards that you just tap and whatever the hell. You know, they're not like game cartridges or anything like that. Like, they called out all this stuff and they turned out to be right on pretty much every accord. And I thought that'd be the redemption arc, and then the podcast kind of went back to being crappy after, you know, they didn't have that scandal to talk about.
Hi, it's Pat Contri, author, podcaster, video game historian, content creator.
Pat was the editor of his NES book and approved reviews from 2 different writers for publication that he later stated were essentially fraudulent material or poorly written. 59 from Brett, 8 from Stephen Wilds, 67 games total. That's more than the Virtual Boy and 32X libraries combined. Pat.
Okay, I noticed this guy says libraries, and it's driving me insane. This is like the second time I've noticed it. He says libraries. Is that like that can't be a speech impediment. That must be, you got like hit over the head in a weird way as a kid. You're like, hey mom, can I go to the library? Library, I love libraries.
Not vetting his writers, not having the knowledge to catch massive issues through 3 digital revisions before going to print, then only bringing up these accusations without evidence while trying to destroy reputations is a massive problem, in addition to being a moral and ethical shortfall. Ultimately, at least one of 2 things must be true when it comes to Brett being removed from this book. Either A, this is a petty attempt to take down a fellow author and ruin a reputation, or B, a book that was known to be of unacceptable quality was knowingly shipped to backers rather than correcting known issues to meet a self-imposed deadline, and unlike the Amico, nothing was going to stop Pat from getting it printed in time for the NES Mini's release window and convention sales. So which is it? Either way, Pat's treating his 250,000 subscribers and every soul who's backed his work as morons. Remember this? It's time to talk about convention goers getting access to the book well before Kickstarter backers. People weren't happy about it, and when calling him out, Pat would block them. This included longtime supporters of his channel. Chris Roberts is one such person. If you look over his Twitter feed, you can see he enjoyed the podcast, recommended content to the show, and backed both books.
Alright, what I'll say about this video is that he's not bitchy and petty enough, like me. I am bitchy and petty, okay? And I think you guys have a taste for this. So whenever I made my Pat video, I was way bitchier, way more petty, way more entertaining. See, that's the operative phrase here, entertaining. I'm not spouting facts. I'm not a fact-generating machine. Hell, half the shit I said might not have even been accurate, but I was passionate about what I was saying. And isn't that why you vote for any politician? It's like, well, I don't know if this is true or not, but god damn it, he says it with conviction. That's the difference between this guy's Pat video and my Pat video. Way more bitchiness, way more pettiness. That's what you get with me.
However, he was disappointed after learning Pat was selling the book at the Retro Game Con in 2019, well before the first Backers books shipped. Opening the book, he noticed his name was also misspelled. As Chris has told me, the Kickstarter promised 2 things. A book by July, a deadline that was missed by 5 months, and their name printed inside. For Chris, both balls have been dropped.
There's several YouTube flavors out there. There's guys like this guy and Gamer from Mars, where they're as cold and stiff as possible, and they're just like spouting out like facts without like inserting like any opinion of their own. And then you got motherfuckers like me, who's just like mostly opinion, and I fuck up the facts on the regular. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I do as much fact checking as I can, but you know, I'm not gonna sit here and be like I don't have some actually, because that happens in the comments all the time on my videos. But yeah, this cold delivery of just giving you like facts and like Wikipedia stuff, I don't know, it's okay for like, this is great for like background shit if I'm playing like a video game and I just want something to listen to, or if I'm like washing dishes or like delousing my dog, or you know, experimenting with sex toys or whatever. I like listening to stuff like this, but I don't know, if I want the real hot fire, then I need this guy needs to serve more cunt than he is now. He's serving no cuntiness.
So he did what Pat so often does and vented about this in a public space. However, this quickly went sideways as Pat scolded him for discussing it in a public forum before blocking him.
In the future, I would recommend emailing if you have an issue versus starting a Twitter thread. You're likely to have a better experience.
By March of 2018, Pat has shipped out 10,000 physical books containing nearly 70 reviews which, according to him, were unfit for publication. And who could blame him? The demand was there thanks to Nintendo's impeccable timing, and these things could be fixed down the road, using his customers as unpaid copy editors in a for-profit business, while charging them for the privilege was a clever idea, and it's worked well for Pat up to this point. Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library has been out of print for some time. However,
Ultimate Guide to the NES Library. I swear to God, what is this guy's problem?
There's been a new book out in its place, and it never got a proper announcement. It should have been called Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library 2019 edition, but in order to erase the works of others, he's chosen to release it using the same name as the prior work, with a massive portion of the original being entirely replaced, as if it never existed.
A journey from Shill to corporate salesman.
In 2018,
oh no, not the Diablo Immortal thing! God, they got shat on so bad after that. You know, everybody knows about this, if you know anything about Pat. You know, they were infamously, Pat and Ian were against people having negative reactions to that Blizzard Con where they announced Diablo Immortal was going to be what was the thing? What was the controversy? It was going to be mobile only, and people were expecting like a more substantial offering from Blizzard, and like a lot of people were disappointed. And they voiced such concerns at the panel, and Pat and Ian just was like, "You bunch of babies, you bunch of fucking entitled babies, get over it." Honestly, I know this was like a big thing at the time. I didn't really care that that was their take, that was their opinion on it. But you know, it's other people's right to have a opposing opinion. I didn't give a fuck one way or the other. I've never been a fan of Diablo. It's not that I'm not a fan, it's that I've just never really played the game. I mean, I love everything else that Blizzard does. As far as their RTS games are concerned, I fucking cut my teeth playing Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness when I was like 10 years old on my Windows 95 PC, and it was fucking amazing. Oh, laddie, it was fucking amazing. Fucking amazing time. StarCraft 2, to this day, I'll still... I mean, I have in my fucking background. And I wish they would expound upon these fucking properties, but don't get me started on that.
Was pulling a cash grab by releasing a mobile predatory pay-to-win game called Diablo Immortals. Now, I like Diablo just fine, the same as I like Trine just fine. However, some people really like Diablo, and we're talking enough to spend money to attend BlizzCon, an official gaming convention put on by the game's developers, which costs $200 per person to attend. It's where fan service announcements are expected and delivered with the anticipation of joyous applause from fans in attendance. Up to this point, Diablo was a PC release with recent home console ports, so with the phone game announcement, the air was sucked from the room. Following
Lost Vikings. That's a deep cut right there. I had that one on my Game Boy SP.
The presentation, there was a Q&A which went sideways when this question was asked.
Doom is a first-person shooter. Is not even comparable to any of these games that we're talking about now.
I was curious, I see a lot of mechanics that we've kind of been begging for in Diablo 3 in this. Is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this strictly mobile forever?
Are there any, the current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS.
Then came the iconic red shirt guy.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
I think every sane person passionate about something can understand this response. It seemed impossible that anyone would side against the consumer on this matter. Was there a soul brave enough to speak out, possibly in hopes of showing big corporations they were a safe bet to advertise with? A person of integrity who would always shill if the money was right?
Ian, do we like That's It fruit and veggie bars?
Yeah, we definitely do. Please, That's It, come back to us. I hope we weren't the reason why our guy got fired, because, boy, we got a lot of fruit bars.
Yes! There was one such man, well, men, and this team would double down hard, landing on the anti-consumer side of big business in the most disgusting way.
I don't have to be pro this game to tell these people to shut the fuck up.
When the person in the audience said, is this a late April Fool's joke?
Oh, sit your fucking ass down.
And people are applauding in the audience? You're all fucking babies.
Yeah.
All of you who applauded. You're all babies. You're rude, first of all.
Yeah.
But you're all babies. And they're the reason you're there, because they gave you these franchises for you to go to BlizzCon.
Yeah.
And now you're fuck you. Yeah, you're not doing exactly what we want when we want. It's like, grow up.
It's so
grow
gross.
Just grow up.
So gross.
I mean, I kind of see both sides of the coin. Like, I see, like, it was BlizzCon, so they're just trying to roll out their new thing. They're trying to stay afloat. They're trying to make their next buck, you know, since World of Warcraft, was long in the tooth even by then. And, you know, mobile games were, like, just killing it. I don't know what the stats are in mobile games now, but there was a time where mobile games were killing. They were eating platform games as lunch, 100%. And yeah, why wouldn't a company like Blizzard? Why wouldn't you try to innovate and stay current? You know, you stay relevant or you die. You know, I also understand the consumer's perspective of, why are you doing this bullshit right now? You know what we want and you're not giving it to us because you're only thinking about your bottom line, and fuck you. So I get both sides of the coin. I really do. I'm going to be the Mr. Rogers of YouTube right now and pull a Boogie 2988 and fence ride right now, and then just ride the fence and say I understand both perspectives. Hey guys, I get what both people are saying, and gee whiz. Back in the day before he started saying shit about black people on his live streams.
That's right, a game that nearly everyone knew was predatory, a game that would receive bans in multiple countries because of its pay-to-win in-game gambling structure that targeted children, a game designed as a cash grab for the phone. Pat and Ian chose to side with that. It didn't end there though. It was such a disgusting position, a position not indifferent from someone defending the Amico while staring the evidence in the face. In a now private video, Pat and Ian made Pew News. There wasn't much said because the stupidity of their position spoke for itself.
You, of course, have people with the best take on this ever.
However, Pat channeled his inner Tommy Tallarico and doubled down with a passive-aggressive Christmas NES Punk video in January of 2019, followed by a podcast topic revisiting their position in February of 2021.
Do you regret any of the Diablo Immortal stuff?
No.
No. It's silly. We became the face of Blizzard Interaction. Little podcast.
Yeah, people took that as being pro-corporation.
Yeah, we're pro-corporation.
I even said in that segment that the game looked like it probably wasn't going to be very good. Like, I was not pro-corporation. I'm just tired of people complaining all the time.
Clearly, these two are not pro-big corporation, and I am so proud of how they continue to let their actions speak louder than their words.
Time for some sponsor ad reads. Loot Crate.
I might just use something we got in the mail for a future promotion to just zip it all off.
I don't think that's the proper use of it, Ian. We don't want to get off on the wrong foot with our potential new sponsor here. Manscaped, the best in men's below and above the belt grooming. I stopped eating cereal for years until Magic Spoon. The nutritious...
I think that's kind of a fucking... I think that's kind of a shaky argument. They had a take on this video game situation with the BlizzCon thing and how people reacted, and I guess he's trying to make the argument that because these guys have sponsors, they are pro-corporation. If YouTube is your full-time job, you like having sponsors is kind of a necessary evil, unfortunately. Like, I don't think that automatically makes you pro-corporate, you know, like yes man ass kisser if you have sponsors. Like I see what he's doing here, and it's like, bro, we're not all like folk artists who pay for our rent and food with a song and a smile. Like, yeah, you need money, unfortunately, to like continue living at all in any way, shape, or form. So like, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with this particular take.
And delicious breakfast cereal.
3 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 3 out of 10.
I had a sponsored stream by Raid Shadow Legends.
Wow.
Speaking of, D&D influence there, and elves and orcs and knights and stuff. And it was...
Yeah, Magic Spoon's not good. I bought Magic Spoon based off of... And I don't normally do this. I feel kind of like dumb for doing it. I bought that Magic Spoon shit based off of the CU podcast, and I gave all the boxes away. It had a weird texture to it. Cereal, it's got to be right in the pocket for me. If cereal is weird in any way, it's like no. I'm going with the trusted brands here on this one, boys. I'm going with the Life cereal, the Cinnamon Life. I'm going with the fucking Lucky Charms. I'm going with the Corn Pops, the Apple Jacks. I'm going with the Great Grains. What is that one called? The one with the fucking oats, flakes and oats, whatever that one's called. I don't really fuck with cereal all that much anymore. I mean, yeah, I don't fuck with cereal, just period. What the fuck is that cereal? Great. The fucking you know what I'm talking about. The one cereal there, the healthier one. Honey Bunches of Oats. Is that right? Yeah. Flakes and Oats. That'd be an awful name for a cereal. Flakes and Oats. That's like I don't know. It'd be like a fucking... It just gives me the connotations of a dandruffy YouTuber, which I mean, if it wasn't for Head and Shoulders, I would be a dandruffy YouTuber too.
Fun. Fresh ingredients to prepare your own meals every week. It's called Blue Apron. If you want a good, clean shave at an affordable price.
This is an aside that has to do with Honey Bunches of Oats. This one Gen Z dude who looked like he was like 20 years old signed up for a Hall & Oates song. I think it was like Sarah Smile or Maneater or something. In the chat, I'm going to put how he wrote it down on his little slip when he signed up for it. That's how, in the chat, that's how he signed up for Hall & Oates Maneater. That's how he spelled it. Like, what was Holland's like it's not a country, right? Or is it a country? Is it a city? Holland Oats. Like the country or whatever the fuck it is. Okay, it is a country. Okay. Holland space Oats. Holland Oats. Like these oats are from Holland, and they've got prostitute pussy juice all over them. Oh, you have to go there.
DollarShaveClub.com.
The anti-racist Loco
Pat has
Bandito.
positioned himself as the moral authority on public figures who are bad actors. If you have a large following, produce content on YouTube that crosses into video games, and you've done something objectionable, he's likely taken you to task in a very public forum. The number of people he's been friendly with, produced content alongside, and then turned on in very vicious ways is too numerous to list here. It's almost as if Pat has a strong sense of what he views as being wrong, and sees life as black and white without any shades of gray. Pat certainly has a moral code, but it appears that it's not quite as it would seem. Upon closer examination, it's hard to tell exactly where he stands due to a high amount of contradictions, double standards, and self-serving actions connected to each of these attacks. As recent as 2022, Pat and Ian made clear their position on how the company you keep reflects the person you are.
I feel good over the past years in calling out bad actors and behaviors, even other influencers, calling out all the shit that PewDiePie used to do and things like that. You want to make sure that the people that follow you like kind of reflect your own beliefs and your own morality as much as you can.
Pat's been known for nearly a decade to toss everyone not useful to him under the bus, including friends and family, even going so far as to embed his grievances with some through multiple podcast segments running multiple years, making them a mainstay of the show. It would seem this moral code trumps and transcends friendships when required. So with that in mind, maybe it's shocking to learn Pat has maintained close connections, including collaborating with someone who's been in hot water numerous times, someone who created a disgusting and racist comic strip.
Oh, get out of here with the fucking disgusting racist he was being fucking, I don't know. He was being fucking stupid just for the sake of being stupid and edgy. Like, Jesus Christ. Cool your fucking tits.
That used the worst tropes, words, and humiliation in its depictions.
Yeah, and you've never laughed at anything that's like edgy or politically incorrect. You've only laughed at government sanctioned liberal media jokes that are okay with the SJWs. No, but like to a certain degree, it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, everybody knows about Loco Bandito at this point. It's just like, I don't think Mike Matei's over here like joining the clan or anything, man. Like, just like, yeah, it was ill-advised, but I don't believe that Mike Matei is like a canceled person or cancelable.
Someone who's never...
Now, if you're friends with a pedophile and his name's Bob McGran and your name's Lusted Justice Silverman, that could be a different story. Which is, I made a whole video about that, and it's only available on my Patreon because it's too hot for YouTube, apparently. Posted the link in the chat here if you want to subscribe to my Patreon and see that video that I put a lot of fucking work into just for YouTube to block it and give me a warning, and I had to take a fucking class. A class. I had to take a YouTube class to learn to not be insensitive to other people's fucking feelings over here. And fucking walking over here. Woke up this morning, got some gabago.
Never really taken responsibility for their actions while being protected by his friends. This, of course, is Mike Matei. The situation has been known about for close to a decade in smaller circles, as he wasn't exactly hiding it. There was a dedicated website for his comic, and his name was proudly displayed on every single issue he created. The racist character even appeared in AVGN Episode 7 as an Easter egg, and crazy as it may seem, it still remains an active video on the channel to this day.
Oh, my pearls! My pearls! The local bandito's still active to this day. Oh, my goodness. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's treaded territory. It's like, yeah, you know, I am so glad, like, some of my I had, like, a blog when I was, like, a teenager, Zanga.com. Don't try to search for it, because it don't exist no more. But, yeah, I said some fucking horrific shit on my blog. I didn't think anyone would see it. It was just my personal diary. Jeez, that sounds effeminate, but whatever. Man, I'm glad, you know, shit that I was going to say I'm glad that shit that I put out on the internet in my 20s isn't available, but honestly, like, I started my YouTube channel when I was like 25, 26, and it's all very much out. I never want to go the edgy route with that kind of shit. I was more in that mindset of, like, the Loco Bandito shit. I was more in that mindset when I was a teenager. Like, when I was, like, literally was fucking stupid. There was no concept back when I was a teenager in the early 2000s. There was no concept of, like, what you put on the internet has consequences and will ever come back to bite you in the ass. In fact, the first time I ever heard of this lady who worked for, like, some airliner, all she did was she took a picture of herself in her stewardess outfit on the plane, empty plane, no passengers, and she got fired because it went against company policy. And that was a huge story 20 years ago, because it was like, whoa. But that was on her personal page. How could she get fired for that? That has nothing to do. She wasn't on the, or that has nothing to do with her job. Like, but yeah, that was like a mind-blowing thing at that point. Like, things you do on the internet can affect you in real life. What? It's like there's a new concept at the time. So I don't know. I think the Loco Bandito thing to me is kind of a nothing burger, honestly.
However, prior to Mike's racist comic going viral for the wrong reasons in 2018, he was in hot water for morally questionable actions, such as uploading his exposed genitalia, showing them alongside a ruler to prove its length to non-age restricted communities, including his public Twitter account and the AVGN subreddit in 2015, or that time he created sexually explicit commentary over children's content, such as the Elmo movie for the AVGN channel, videos which were uploaded and then quickly deleted after people started calling it out. When the Mike Matei racist comic went viral in 2018, the move from everyone on Team Mike, including Pat, was to hide, ban, and ignore all comments related to it. And it made sense. This team had been in deep crap prior to this coming to light, and this was a tactic that had always worked. There was never any official, visible discussion or comment addressing any of this. Mike replied to some regarding it back in 2007, but it was on an underground website and in response to someone who enjoyed his work.
Hey, I draw the Loco Bandito when I feel like it, and I haven't really felt like it.
People can be naive and do dumb, shameful things. No one who attempts to change should be characterized as the person they no longer are. Not everyone has the same set of tools, influences, or environment needed to understand why something that's clearly wrong is indeed wrong. Yet, even though Pat tossed Mike under the bus during the Cheetahman scam, James has always been loyal. Pat's need for James, along with owing the start of his career to both James and Mike, appears to play into him never addressing this, while going after other creators and friends for near-identical actions. Pat has shown a clear inability to forgive people he feels have wronged him or crossed his questionable moral code. PewDiePie and Kevin are prime examples of people he just can't let go, and if it weren't for such blatant hypocrisy from both Ian and Pat on this matter, we wouldn't be discussing it here. But they set these standards, yet pick and choose who they are applied to. I can understand not wanting to speak out against someone you're close to if that's the moral position you take in matters such as these. However, we have 350 podcast episodes full of Pat's opinions, and we patently know he's a hypocrite who bases his attacks on what's most beneficial to his bottom line. So, what's next for Pat? Currently, he's working on a Nintendo 64 book, and being he stated the reviews were finished in 2021, I assume the launch date is right around the corner. Even after it comes out, the very existence of this book is quite troublesome due to Pat's general dislike for the platform and the problematic decision to use and defend the use of emulators to review every single game.
Oh, why are we using emulators? Because there's like 20 different writers, first of all. So then it comes down to, okay, you gotta get a flash cartridge to every writer. You gotta make sure they have the hardware. How do you capture it using a flash card? You have to have a computer and software to do that.
I don't know if I'd publicly be putting it out there that, like, yeah, we don't own all these games. We're using flash carts or whatever. And we're downloading the ROMs and essentially stealing the games. I mean, which is fine if you're not trying to make like a commercial product that you're trying to sell. Yeah, I don't know. That seems a little unethical, doesn't it? Like, shouldn't you own all these games if you're like making a book about it that you're like trying to like sell to like a lot of people for potentially like a lot of money? I mean, it's one thing if it's like you know, you're in your basement making this shit under one of them hangy little lights over some desk, and you're like doing it like, you know, you're taking all these different letters from magazines and making a ransom letter. I mean, that's one thing if you're making it like that, but if you're doing it and trying to make it legit, like, I just feel like maybe you should own the games, because yeah, that's you used you went through a method of ill-begotten means to acquire these ROMs. You don't own all these games. I don't know, that seems a little weird.
Now, once you captured the video, you got to go through that. Now you got to pick out pictures in the video. So you're basically quadrupling the amount of work being done.
It's the N64. I need to. They're going for 90% compatibility.
Good fucking luck.
Good luck.
As I've talked about before, and people came after me, was like, why did you do that? I just went through the hell for trying to get screenshots and accuracy for that looked like the 90s for 400 games. N64 emulation is the fucking pits. It's the pits.
Right.
And it's not going to get close to 100% anytime soon. On my computer, I couldn't even run Rogue Squadron at a stable frame rate. And my graphics card's not that old.
A game reviewer.
Damn, he didn't even own Rogue Squadron on N64. That's like a cartridge I feel like everybody owns because it was such a good game.
And their opinions are 100% dependent on the software being accurately represented. Knowing emulation is being used for the entire book means two things. One, an original controller was almost certainly not used. This is critical to the N64 platform, where the controller was a major part of the player experience.
That is very true. The controller for the N64 was literally designed for Mario 64 and like maybe Wave Racer. Like it was fucking engineered for Mario 64. Like that's all they gave a fuck about, was like, this game needs to like sell and we're going to design the controller around this one game. And then all the other games just had to figure it the fuck out. Maybe Ocarina of Time, they had that, you know, in the distance in their minds that like, we need a Mario and we need a Zelda for the next gen console. So we're going to, you know, reinvent the wheel here. You know what's funny is if you look at the an N64 controller, I don't have one around me, the part where you put your hand with the joystick or whatever, that actually is what like one of the Wii nunchucks looks like. It's like if you took an N64 controller and like broke it in half kind of deal.
One that can't be dismissed in any sort of self-proclaimed ultimate guide. The second being emulation just can't be trusted to give proper representation. And if the reviewer doesn't intimately know what a proper representation of the game they're reviewing is, then we can't trust a single review in this book. There's just zero way to know if the emulator used for any game in this book properly represents the visuals, frame rate, audio, and in-game controls of the actual game. It may be much worse, or even fix issues presented on real hardware. Remember, we're talking about a book that is marketed as a trustworthy source of critical reviews. If it was just a reflections or a guidebook, it wouldn't matter and it wouldn't be a deal breaker. But this is. Do the community a favor and don't support this book.
Oh, wow. He fucked up. He fucked up a little glitchy transition screen there with the little text thing. A final though. Damn. Yeah. Maybe that's why his channel only has 15,000 subs. A final though. That's a pretty bad fuck up. How can I trust you now? You don't vet your videos when you're. I mean, I know it's a 50-minute long video, but yeah, you go through that and you catch things like that. That's a final though. Damn, how did he not? Man, as an editor, I'm just, who does the same shit this guy does. I'm just like, oof, that one hurt. That one fucking hurt. Like, man, I bet you're regretting the fuck out of that one.
I think this is
final though. Damn,
a good spot to make clear that I reached out and spoke to over 30 people, including those discussed in this video and non-public figures to confirm details. If it couldn't be confirmed by at least 2 unconnected sources or physical evidence, I didn't discuss it. Some items I wanted to discuss, I was simply asked not to by those who shared personal details, documents, and their stories. The situation with Pat is disappointing because there's a need for a person like him, someone who speaks their mind, is unfiltered, and tackles tough topics. Someone like The Geek Getaway? Another small YouTuber who Pat depended on almost exclusively for content related to the Amico on his podcast. But up until Slopes released his Amico documentary, you've likely never heard of The Geek Getaway, or nearly anyone else the CU podcast used as a source without a large online presence when reporting info on the system. That's honestly not shocking either, as it's a useful tactic when someone wants to be the official source, wants to squash competition, and greatly dislikes giving credit to those they see as beneath them. Pat's not alone here. Bomber Guy, who released the now famous and fantastic Roadblocks Oof video.
Oh yeah, this guy wants to be a bread tuber. I agree. I'm surprised this video wasn't sponsored by Odyssey, with Lindsay Ellis being the marquee name being bandied about. FK Signifier, Lindsay Ellis, Bomber Guy. Check out their content on Odyssey. Ugh, that's a website I will not ever be subscribing to.
Video admitted to not discussing incriminating items regarding Tommy Tallarico that should have been covered because it would have forced him to also mention the source, that being The Geek Getaway. We need a community advocate to stand up against shameful corporations and individuals that only care about filling their bank accounts. Pat's not that guy though. Instead, he's legit the closest we have to Donald Trump having a love child with Tommy Tallarico. He's the expert who knows all things, is never wrong, and will never admit fault. I don't want to end the video with anyone having the impression that I'm personally offended by anything shared here. While I have massive issues with a few of these items discussed, the real point of this video was to showcase a decade-long pattern of hypocrisy via things Pat has said and done, and how every action he takes is done in the most self-serving way possible. Like Jimmy Savile, someone can visibly do good deeds while not being a good person. That's it for now.
Yeah,
and until
Jimmy
next time,
Savile.
Thank you for watching Retro Impressions.
Alright, thanks guy. Thanks for the video, guy. Gave me something to watch. I gotta pee something fierce. I'll be right back.
bet you're wondering.
No more. All right. So what do we do now? Do we do I play my set from the Halloween show with my band? Do we do my Pat's Twitch stream video? I haven't seen that one in a hot minute. Maybe I keep it what do you call it? Canon, and play the Pat Twitch stream video. Proud of that one. All right. New AV, what that he likes those video noir, movie noir things. That video looked boring. Unless you mean that he has like a new video. Let me see what Bimmy's got going on over here. Oh, an hour ago. What the fuck is he dropping a video at? What would that have been? 1 a.m.? I don't know. I think I might have to save that one for a separate stream. That's too much of a golden goose to burn on this one towards the back end at 2. Wow, he put those ones out fast, staggered them. Yeah, I'll just do the Pat Twitch video. Just keep it a Pat-oriented thing, so when people look at this in retrospect, it'll be consistent. All right, this is my video on Pat the NES Punk's weird Twitch grift. Probably save the Time Cop one for next week. Well, it looks like I'm talking about this guy again, Pat the NES Punk. If you're in the retro gaming world, you probably know who this guy is, especially if you listen to gaming podcasts or watch YouTube. Pat has a few claims to fame under his belt. He was on an episode of The Angry Video Game Nerd back before it started to suck. He owns virtually every single North American original NES game, including the ultra-rare Nintendo World Championship cards, the gray one and the gold one. He was briefly featured on that scripted-ass pawn shop show, Pawn Stars, where he got 15 seconds of visibility on national TV. Pat has written books, hosted several podcasts, created YouTube content, and made a lot of acquaintances in the YouTube e-celeb sphere. But if you know anything about my channel, you know that about a year ago I made an in-depth video talking about how mid I think Pat is and how his content isn't very good in my opinion. Well, I probably would have just left things how they were, since Pat seems to be closing up shop on most of the things he's known for. His once well-regarded CU podcast only comes out like once a month now, if that. There's no more Flea Market Madness videos, and I believe he's finally retiring his terminally unfunny Pat the NES Punk series on his YouTube channel. And it seems like all he really wants to do these days is write guidebooks about various Nintendo systems and watch old TV commercials on Twitch. But then, someone in my Discord posted this image as kind of a lol, look how weird Pat is kind of thing. And it triggered me. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a list of things that Pat was deprived of as a kid that, if mentioned during one of his Twitch streams, could get you a timeout or even banned. But the fun doesn't stop there on Pat's Twitch streams, because there also exists an extensive list of things you cannot slander, or else you may find yourself banned or in a timeout. Well, to say these things grabbed my attention would be an understatement. The original poster on my Discord went on to tell me about all kinds of other various eccentricities that go down on Pat's Twitch streams. And they are vast! From near constant e-begging to getting into arguments with his mom on stream, Pat's Twitch streams reveal yet another layer of how truly bizarre and grifty this guy is. Stick around, this is Dancing with Ghosts. Man, the editing on this video is slicker than a Yes record. God damn!
I don't remember having the dispenser pack. I think I was off the double tape by then.
Mature, responsible things.
Now you might be asking yourself, Josh, why are you picking on this kindly middle-aged man who just wants to share his love of nostalgia with his audience? Because Pat Contri is a man-child who I believe has found a very cunning way of separating his followers from their money. Pat first started streaming old commercials from the 70s, 80s, and 90s on Twitch during a certain pandemic in 2020 as a fun way to pass the time. Or at least that's what he wants you to believe. But make no mistake, none of this is free. There is a $5.99 paywall just to get the privilege to watch Pat watch old commercials that he just grabs off of YouTube. But wait, that's only if you missed the live Wednesday evening broadcast, because that one is totally free to watch. However, I must warn you, Pat has a fever, and the only cure is more advertisements. Yes, sirree, Bob, if you think you get to watch Pat watch old commercials for free, you are mistaken. He's going to make his money one way or another. So every 15 minutes, you will be served 5 to 7 minutes of advertisements. Now keep in mind, the Twitch streamers have control over this. For instance, Angry Joe and Caveman Kieran will only have about 3 minutes of ads per every hour that they stream. And even when they do have an ad break, that's when they'll use the restroom, go get a drink, or scratch their ass, only resuming their content when the ad is over. Not Pat. He just chugs along whether you're stuck watching the ads or not. And should you want to go back and watch what you missed, well, you better pay up, you poor fuck, because only members get to do that. Again, every 15 minutes of watch time, you will be shown 5 to 7 minutes of ads. How fucking annoying must that be? That virtually forces you to become a member. And if it just stopped there, that would be one thing, but Senior Contri has found a way to poke and prod you in numerous other ways. After you've parted ways with your $5.99, you will still be harassed every 2 minutes by a Streamlabs bot in the chat that will prompt you with things like Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the N64 Library, available at ultimatenintendo.com. Subscribe to Pat on Twitch for exclusive emotes, ad-free viewing, and access to his Discord. Looking for N64 book feedback? Thanks! You can get NES, SNES, and N64 books, shirts, and enamel pins, DVDs, and more at ultimatenintendo.com. You can support Pat on Patreon, patreon.com. Okay, we fucking get it, man. Get your fucking nuts out of my face with all this shit. Dude, whoever this guy is, I love this content. I have no notes, like, so far. I have 0 notes for this person. I already gave you my $5.99 to watch you watch old commercials. At least Pat isn't going to ask me for more money after all of that business.
The bad news is that the hot tub needs a repair. So I went in it last week for the first time in like a month. And one of the buttons for there's 2 different jet systems, left and right, wasn't working. So
what is up with... Can somebody in the chat please give me like a educated like response? So why, if you have hair that grows like that naturally, okay? Now if Pat was a black man and I was saying this would be very problematic. But he's a paisan like me. He's one of them annoying dagos like myself. If you have hair that grows like that, why in heaven's name would you my grandma's hair looked just like that when I was like 10. You know, she still had some original color. She hadn't fully lost all the pigment in her hair. But the perm thing was just, why it... I don't know if there was ever a time in history where people liked that hair, that what he's got going on there. The old granny perms of the 90s. Old ladies don't look the same now as they did back in the 90s, let me tell you. All the grandmas when I was growing up all looked exactly the same. All the white grandmas, at least. I was only around white grandmas. I was never around a black grandma. It wasn't a racism thing. It just didn't happen to be around a black grandma ever. But the white grandmas, they all had that hair, that perm. They would go to hair salons and do that on purpose. They would do that on purpose. And I can only think that the only reason they would do that is because what was it? Was it Jerry Seinfeld or Bill Burr? I don't remember which comedian said it. Like, when you become like officially an old fart, you dress in the last decade that you were in where you got pussy. So like if you're like a man and the last time you got pussy was in the 70s, you're still going to dress like they did in the 70s when you're like 72. because that's just how it works for some reason. I will probably be rocking emo lip ring when I'm old and gray, which I think is a better look. Maybe not. Maybe it's a sad look. I don't know. Al Jorgensen from Ministry's fucking cool. And he's fucking old and still looks crazy. I just really hate Pat's hair a lot. I think the short hair looks way better. Although his face is, it's almost like he's taking some kind of anabolic steroids. It's like puffing his face up. He's retaining a lot of water over here. So I don't know if the short hair would even save him at this point.
I need the whole console replaced, second time. And it's gonna cost.
Ministry of the Mind is a terrible thing to taste. I reviewed that album on my Patreon. I'm gonna put the link in the chat now. I'm learning how to grift, you guys, because I haven't been doing a very good job of it lately, to be quite honest.
This is not a lie. For like less than an hour work, it's gonna take like 20 minutes only. It's $550. $550 to replace this stupid console, and it's the second time I had a button issue on this thing. So I should do a hot tub goal.
All right. Oh wait, I have a question I have to put in the poll regarding Pat. This is the burning question that I'm about to ask. I really want to know.
If we hit that, I would do a hot tub stream to help pay for that. First world Pat problems, I know. Oh, we have a hype train going. Hot tub hype. Gotta get to $550.
All at a price you can afford.
Oh God, $300 for the part. They say like $250 for labor. Thank you, Matt C8, another gifting goat. Thank you so much. But I'll show you what stickers are.
Gifting goat. What the fuck? Gifting goat. Oof. Cringy.
Going to be probably for sale on the website eventually, but definitely for sale in person.
Sealed. So funny, you guys. It's so funny. You've got to be fucking kidding me. That's got to be it, right? Have you extracted enough money from your audience yet? Hey guys, if you give me more money, I'll play theme songs from whatever commercial or TV show you want. But remember, the more money you give me, the longer the clip I will play. Don't be a cheapskate now. Hand over those biddies. Oh, and here's my tip jar, just in case you haven't given me enough money yet. All tips appreciated, but never required. My God. You've found every single way to make money from your audience from this site. And to think, I felt guilty for just starting a Patreon. Me and my associate, who helped me do research on this video, did some pat math of our own, and given his subscriber counts, subtracting for free memberships, and adding in the view counts, we estimate that Pat probably pulls in a little over $200K a year from Twitch alone. Now it's all starting to become just a little more clear as to how Pat is able to afford to live in San Diego without having to get a real job. Good for him if people are willing to pay the money, I guess, so... Okay.
I don't mean to assume the role of a guy in my Discord, but this is how he talks in the voice chat. We call him John Saucier, and I hate to be a gatekeeper right now. But Jesus Built My Hot Rod by Ministry, yeah, it's like kind of a basic bitch choice. Yeah.
Man, I've gotten so good at doing that guy's voice. And I love how unique his voice is and how easily doable it is to replicate. Anyhow, John Saucier. Actually, John Saucier is, I think he's like one of the weather guys for the WOKV. I almost did an Australian accent just then. WOKV, the news channel in Jacksonville. He's like, I'm John Saucier, here with the weather. In Jacksonville, it's going to be a mid blah, 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 and goes on his whole thing. My name is John Saucier. And I don't know. As soon as I heard that dude speak in my Discord, this guy that I'm talking about, who I have named John Saucier, I just kind of feel like with the way he talks, like
Yeah, it would definitely be a good John Saucier. And it's French, of course. If Saucier in the chat, how I spell it at least, is like this. It's Saucier. Saucier. Good in French. Bro, I'm going to play the video. Just calm the fuck down. I can't believe the amount of people, 40 votes. 47% of you think the whole sealed is funny. Man, I thought that'd be like overwhelmingly, like people would be like, no, that's fucking not funny. It's cringe as fuck. Because that's how I felt about it. Well, fuck me then, I guess. What do I know, butthead? Sealed. Shut up, butthead. It's not funny then, and it wasn't funny now. I've decided I'm in. I want to give Pat Contri as much money as possible. I want to help him move his books, and I want to become a paid member of his Twitch streams. But what am I getting for my money here? What is this mythical live stream actually like?
And wine, Matus Rosé.
Hey, Matus Rosé.
Bring it on home.
This is his live stream, by the way. His Twitch live stream. He's just smacking into the mic. He does that a lot, by the way. You know, call this buyer's remorse, but it appears that Pat is just staring into the void as a shitty old commercial plays. Seemingly the only thing on screen that's doing any actual entertaining is the old shitty commercial. And yeah, this clip was particularly bad, but it's not really a stretch to find many other clips of Pat just watching commercials and not saying anything. I mean,
indoors and out, and save $5 to $6 on Sears Easy Living semi-gloss, satin, and ceiling paint. Save on bedspreads, all sheets and comforters, plus lots more for your family. 48 pages of store-wide super values. But hurry, Sears' great sale for the home is on now.
Ace Hunter. Does this even count as fair use when we're just watching a guy watch TV? And the dude barely interacts with his audience, though he will ban members of his audience or put them in timeout. That's something he will do.
That might be an insta-ban, maybe if not timed out for 1,000,000 seconds. Timed out scam? Wasn't a scam, you earned it. Wait a second. What were Catgirl 9? What were...
Oh, Catgirl 9. I can't wait. If you haven't seen this video yet, I can't wait for you guys to figure out who Catgirl 9 is.
What are you spicing up the chat? What are you doing? I gotta time out Catgirl 9. Tickle the balls. Because it's a commercial. What are you doing? Catgirl 9. What are you doing?
What are you doing? A fake laugh. It's a fake fucking laugh. I feel like RFK Jr. right now. Holy shit, that's such a fake laugh. Remember earlier when I brought up all the various things that Pat was deprived of as a kid that you as a viewer aren't allowed to bring up? Well, I feel like now is the time to review this list a little more thoroughly. See, these are all of the things that poor little chubby Pat was deprived of as a kid and is so triggering to him that he may ban you for even mentioning them. We have Busch Gardens. I went. Disney World. I also went. Happy Meals. Oh, I loved Happy Meals growing up and the shitty toys that came with them. A Coke float glass. What the fuck is that even? That is so specific. Light Bright. Etch-a-Sketch. Six Flags Great Adventure. Flintstones Vitamins. A custom Carvel ice cream cake. Children's aspirin. Clean sponges. A children's robe. Bro, is this a list of what Pat was deprived of, or Michael Jackson's backstage rider for when he's done playing a show? Anyway, we got Battleship, Play School Electronics, Pillow People. What the fuck is a Pillow People? Foam Finger. Oh yeah, I had one of those. Slip and Slide, 64 count Crayola crayons, Stunt Kite, Speak and Spell, Nintendo Power Fest, Kool-Aid, Swimming Pool, AC. As in air conditioning? No, okay, this is a big correction I want to make right now on the Pat deprived list that's being read off right now by yours truly. AC actually is Atlantic City. It's a Jersey thing. I'm not from fucking New Jersey, nor do I give a flying fuck about New Jersey, except for the fact that The Sopranos took place there. No, that's Atlantic City. The reason why I care more about Atlantic City is I just got done fucking watching Boardwalk Empire over there. Fucking Nucky Thompson. Steve Buscemi is Nucky Thompson. God, what a decent show that was. If you haven't seen Boardwalk Empire, you should watch it. No, that's Atlantic City. He was deprived of going to Atlantic City because I guess if you're in Jersey, that was a big deal to walk on the boardwalk of Atlantic City. Didn't you grow up in Jersey? Does it get that fucking hot there? My stupid Florida Blaine, like David Blaine, my stupid Florida brain, when I hear AC, us Floridians, we automatically think, what, air conditioning? Yeah, that is something to be deprived of. What the fuck? No, it's Atlantic City. It's not air conditioning, but I'm born and raised in Florida, so when I hear AC, I'm thinking air conditioning. That's just me. Over 100 degrees here the other day in my city in Florida. Game Boy, RC car, and he tags all of this with, at the end, that's just the beginning. Okay, first off, I call bullshit on at least a third of these things that you mentioned. There's no fucking way you never had a Happy Meal, Kool-Aid, or some kind of pain reliever. I guess in this case, children's aspirin. Bro, I could make a video just from this creepy ass list alone. I didn't experience half of this shit either, dude, but I would never call myself deprived, and I certainly wouldn't have made an itemized list stating all the particular first world privileges you didn't happen to have experienced. What an entitled fucking baby. Yeah, I didn't get any pussy in high school, but I'm not gonna make a list about it and ban others who bring it up. I've never seen a clearer case of someone who experienced some kind of childhood trauma, but it doesn't stop there. Not only can you not mention the things Pat didn't get to experience, but you also can't talk badly about things Pat likes. This is such a fucking long list, but we have some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen on here. You guys, you better not say anything negative about Almond Joy, Bon Jovi, he fucking sucks, California, New Jersey, Daylight Savings Time, is this a fucking joke? Utz potato chips, pretzels, and quote, whatever else Pat may add. Dude, this is giving off some serious Linkara energy. Bro, anytime I can shoehorn that clip into a video, I am going to. Linkara will never live this clip down. As long as I'm on guard on the YouTube sphere, Linkara will never live this clip down. In fact, I should use it more. Honestly, I'm actually ashamed that I haven't used it more. Also, we're not allowed to tell Pat what is/isn't funny. Good Lord, what a fussy little bitch. Okay, so let's recap. You pay Pat in any and every way you can to watch him stare into the middle distance while old-ass commercials are playing in the background. You can't talk about anything you enjoyed as a kid unless Pat also had that same experience. And conversely, you can't speak ill on anything that Pat likes. Got it. So far, this sounds like one of the most legit live streams I've ever encountered. North Korean dictatorship? This certainly is not. So going forward, we eventually come across an old McDonald's commercial, and just look how Pat's facial expression changes.
New commercials are.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay, you guys need hyper-focus. Hyper-focus on Pat's face. I zoom in on him. Don't worry. You will see his face change. He gets so triggered by this commercial of this Happy Meal.
Your kids will love McDonald's Happy Meal. It's food and fun.
Deprived.
In a box. It's a hamburger or
Deprived.
cheeseburger,
Deprived.
regular size fries, regular size soft drink, and a McDonald's and cookie sampler.
Bro, look how fucking... it makes me want to say gamer words looking at this shit. God! Bummed Pat is that he didn't get a fucking Happy Meal as a child. He is lusting after this experience so hard, as if perhaps his life wouldn't have been spent collecting old video games if only his horrible mother did not deprive him of a Happy Meal. Jesus Christ, what an embarrassment.
Pat missed it. I wonder why, Catgirl9, why I missed it.
Why does he refer to himself in third person so much? Dude, he loves like that. It's like a fucking... Is that a mental disorder? I need to Google this. I'm sorry.
Is referring to yourself in third person some kind of mental disorder? He does it all the time. No, referring to yourself in the third person is not inherently a mental disorder and can actually have psychological benefits. What the fuck? Fucking AI synopsis. Go ask Alice as a sponsored thing. The Psychology of Referring to Yourself in the Third Person by Chris Bourne. Okay, I fucking hate internet articles. They can't just give you a straight answer. They gotta be like, the history of what this is and how it is. It started back in the It's like, dude, just give me like a fucking clear answer. Maybe that's why the AI thing is proliferating Google at this point, because it's like, just give me the fucking answer, man. All right, well, I guess it's not a mental illness thing, and apparently it fosters confidence in people. However, it can be a symptom of certain conditions like dissociative identity disorder or social anxiety disorder, especially if accompanied by other symptoms such as detachment or memory loss. For many people, it's a coping mechanism or a way to gain emotional distance from stressful situations. Okay, well, then that makes a lot more sense. Oh, $4.99 from Babak. Gabago. Yeah, I think it's a coping mechanism as a way to gain emotional distance from stressful situations.
If only someone in the chat could have altered my history growing up and have bought me a couple of Happy Meals in my life. Wow, that would have been great. Yes,
He even said that like a fat guy. If only someone in the chat could have altered my history, got me a couple of Happy Meals in my life. Like, that's literally like the same line Boogie would have used, I feel like. But Boogie actually is not nearly as restarted as Pat and took his money and went and got some goddamn Happy Meals. Clearly more than, more than a lot. A legion of Happy Meals? Is that the count here? If we're talking about Boogie and his Happy Meal, because a legion of Happy Meals, was it like 20,000? Isn't that a legion? Yeah. Pat, it could have. It needed to happen when he was a kid, though. It couldn't have happened as an adult. It just doesn't hit the same. It had to happen when he was a kid. Now, I will take an experience like going to Blockbuster Video. You 110% need to do that as a kid to get the full effect of Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or whatever knockoff. The video rental stores. Hell, I had a fucking gas station that rented out NES games. I shit you not. That was a thing that they did. There was a gas station down the road from the house I grew up in, and they rented out NES games. I swear to God, that was a thing. Because, like, the Nintendo blew up. And by the, I guess, early 90s, it was... I don't know. Everyone wanted a piece of that action. You had like moms, stay-at-home moms, who were opening video game rental stores locally all over the place. It was a boom. It was like it was a thing that happened. But yeah, no, you needed to experience that. But like a fucking, does Pat not understand that a Happy Meal was just a fucking shitty cheeseburger, shitty French fries, and a toy and a soda? Like, it's not some magical, it's not going to, like, fix whatever, there's a lot of allegations going on about Pat's dad, okay? If you know, you know. It's not going to, like, reverse whatever your dad did to you if you had a Happy Meal or two or three.
Shaming you. I absolutely am.
Now, you may ask yourself, who is Pat talking to in the chat? Who is this Catgirl9? Well, Catgirl9 is Pat's mom. He's literally giving his mom shit in the chat for not buying him a Happy Meal as a child. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if it gets much more pathetic than that. He enjoys giving his mom shit in front of a bunch of strangers, though, apparently. Here he is bitching about some cookies his mom bought for him as a kid. But I guess they weren't good enough because they didn't come from McDonald's.
Giggles!
There she goes.
Oh, I ate some Giggles growing up. They were cheap. They were cheap-ass cookies. They were good.
Me, I like the two kinds of cream inside. There's vanilla and fudge in each one.
Oh. Catgirl9, Did you know that these are like the worst thing that kids should probably be eating? Giggles cookies with like tons of hydrogenated sugar shit.
Yes, it was.
You bought them.
I don't know if any of you other guys out here have a YouTube channel. I mean, there's like 107? Oh, wow. We'll drop down a little bit. But I know there's at least a few of you out here watching this who have YouTube channels and perhaps have even done a live stream. What would you rate the level of embarrassment if your fucking mom was in your live stream chat? For me, it would be a 10 out of 10 if she was actively commenting. Can you fucking imagine how embarrassing that shit would be? And my mom's not even like cringe. Like she's so base, bro. See, it feels weird like using internet lingo describing my mom, but like she's just like a normal individual who, you know, has like a life and activities and shit like old people do. What she's not doing is getting on the fucking internet or going out to bars or being on dating apps. And for that, I am forever thank you for giving me a lame ass mom, man. Like, and well, no, actually, like she is technically the cool mom in my mind because she stays away from all this shit. She doesn't know shit about fuck regarding any of this stuff. She probably hasn't been to a bar in like 20 years. Like, let alone looked at my videos. She'll listen to my music occasionally, but it's like a, what do you call it? It's like a ceremonial thing. It's like, I'm doing it out of, you know, I'm doing it because, you know, you put out a song, you're my son, I'll listen to it. And I don't even care if she likes it or not. I don't want her to watch my channel. I especially don't want her to be in my live streams. And I specifically do not want her interacting with my fucking chat. Pat, who is older than me by like 4, 5, 6 years at least, he has no problem with it. He enjoys it. It's very bizarre behavior, I will say.
Not as much as the EL Fudges, but you bought them.
But Pat apparently wasn't deprived of Bennigan's or TGI Fridays.
Bennigan's went out of business. Bennigan's was so much better. TGI Fridays is still going strong. God, I miss Bennigan's.
It almost sounds as if you were an ungrateful little shit as a child, Pat. You didn't deserve a Happy Meal. But according to my source, Pat likes his mom enough to have his audience give her free memberships. Because apparently, if not, she would have to pay to watch her son watch old TV commercials.
Here, Paul Simon. Oh, thank you so much, Trademark. Gifting Goat, $9.83 total. $9.83. Oh, speaking of Highlander, one of the sub went to Highlander. One went to Catgirl 9. Is that a random? Thank you so much, Trademark. Appreciate that. Help me keep the lights on and a fruit salad.
I guess in an attempt to add another revenue stream to his portfolio, Pat goes on about starting an OnlyFans for the purpose of selling his stickers and housing the old VODs of his live streams.
Speaking of pics, no, I haven't started my OnlyFans yet. I'm 50 pounds away from that goal. The stickers arrived, so you can come out to Long Island. I'll have the stickers for sale. Not available on Twitch anymore. I'm gonna maybe put them on Patreon, or I can put them on OnlyFans. Actually, wait a second. I can put that on OnlyFans. What's the difference between, if it's not sexual, what's the difference between Patreon and OnlyFans?
Some of the stickers, I hate his musings. Actually, what is the difference between Patreon and OnlyFans if it's not sexual? It's just like, oh God. You're embarrassing yourself, Pat. Stop it. Which he is selling for a profit, feature likenesses of people such as Crazy Eddie and Sue Simmons.
The Crazy Eddie? You like that? The Crazy Eddie. The GOAT newscaster. We got Sue Simmons. Prime Sue Simmons from like 1982.
People that I'm assuming he doesn't have written consent from to have their likenesses used for Pat's financial gain. I'm pretty sure you can't just slap anything you want onto a sticker and sell it full stop without any kind of legal repercussions. I also never want to hear the names Pat, Contri, and OnlyFans in the same sentence ever again, though I'm sure he thought that that was hilarious for coming up with that idea.
Hey, Ian, I have an OnlyFans. JK, I'm just selling stickers on there, Lamau.
Now let's get into Pat's inflated sense of self-importance. Pat is a VIP in his own life, and sometimes it comes across as though he thinks he is a real celebrity and not just an internet personality with a dying YouTube channel.
How about 50 most beautiful Twitch streamers? Would Pat make the list?
It is 180 degrees from expected.
Do a Twitch calendar shoot?
A leather-trimmed interior.
It'd be me versus Asmon Gold for December. Little shoulders.
Someone say combo.
He's on the gear. I can't get shoulders like that. That's not natural.
Entertainment system combining a TV, VCR, and stereo, all in one great package.
Shoulder shaming me. I don't have small shoulders. I feel shamed now.
He does the whole plausible deniability of, I'm only joking, you guys, when greasing his own ego. But no, I've listened to this guy long enough. He's couching his ego under the guise of, just kidding, bro. In this video, Pat takes a poll from his viewers to see if they want him to keep streaming. He only needs 50 votes, which he seems to struggle to receive.
37. Come on, we need 13 more votes. 40. You got like 10 seconds to vote. 43 votes. Come on, 7 more votes. Come on, let's do it. Let's come on, rock the vote. Why do we wait till the last minute? Come on. You got like 8.
Okay, he needs 50 votes to keep streaming. Let me embarrass myself and not reach that number, but I'm going to do the same thing in my chat. Given that there's only 113 people, not gonna, should I keep streaming? I need 50 yeses. I'm gonna see how hard it is to reach this 50 number. With basically, I need like half the chat to respond.
Seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh, 48 votes. Why do you wait till the last minute?
He never gets to 50, but the audience is still rewarded with the Nintendo Bohemian Rhapsody video, a video game themed parody of the Queen song Bohemian Rhapsody. Nintendo Bohemian Rhapsody. A few people have put no. That's fucking hilarious. Was a collaboration between Pat and game music YouTuber Brentalfloss that came out over 12 years ago and is probably Pat's most viewed video. It's about as cringy as you would expect. Dude, he's so proud of this fucking performance. Like, he's so fucking proud. Like, he's like mimicking his, like, whatever he did when he was 10 years younger. He's like mimicking it like people would want to see that. Like, oh man, Pat's streaming and he's like doing the same thing when he's like blowing in the cart and he's doing it on the little dumb TV thing in the upper right hand corner. Oh my god, that's fucking awesome.
Press start with me.
Pat talks about how he wrote most of the lyrics, how well the video has done, and then we finally get to the masterpiece.
I bought new controllers, but nothing helps. And slow.
As you can see, Pat completely reanimates when watching videos of himself, often reenacting and singing alongside to his decade-old opus. Yeah, that was awful. I'd rather watch a record. All right, come on, guys. I need 50 votes here. I need 50 votes. I'm at 36 now. Like, I'm begging you like Pat did. He probably had way more people watching. Or maybe he didn't. I don't fucking know. We're at 38 now. Okay, now we're back at 37. It keeps going back and forth. Holy fuck. Okay. I need 50 votes. Give me those votes. I need to feel as validated as Pat. I need to be the superior Italian American in this race. Viper music video any day of the week over that. After the video, Pat brags about how there was no auto-tune and how he can carry a tune.
But people...
Oh! Ice Hockey Jedi, $5. Do us a solid and keep going for a bit. Well, we're at 41 votes here. We need 50. That's what Pat needed to keep going. Josh is only 9 away. 8 away. Now only 8 votes away. Much smaller channel than Pat. But I just need that validation, you know. I need I need that W right now, you guys. 7 more votes, guys. 7 more votes. Can I get 50? I don't know. Like, it's a David and Goliath thing going on over here. I want my mom to screenshot this and put it on her fucking refrigerator. 6 more votes, and I keep going. I keep streaming. Oh, I'm sweating now. Now it's getting real. Will I touch the balls of Pat Contri? Of the should I keep streaming or not? It's crazy. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll keep going here, but I hope I can get to 50. That's all I hope. That's all I hope. I hope I can get to 50. 5 more votes. Holy hell, it's getting tight now. Unlike my flappy ass. Okay, all right. I'm monitoring this. This is nuts. This is nuts. 4 more votes, guys. Come on. My nipples are, oh, God, they're getting a lot more sensitive now. 3 more votes. 3 more votes for yes, for me to keep streaming. I am a fraction of a person that Pat is, based on our EPs alone. And it seems like it's taken me a little bit less time. I don't know. We're still at 47, though. We're not at 50. That's the number that we need to get to. Oh, God. Nervous about it. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. So close. So close to coming. 2 more votes. I don't know. You know, I have a medical disorder. 49. 1 more vote. Oh, 51. 51. Jesus Christ. 51 for the yes to still stream. Pat. It wasn't as hard as I thought it might be. Thank you. You guys have done it. You did what I never thought would be possible. I know we're like 53. We're in overspill right now. Honestly, we're just waiting.
People thought that people like in his comments thought I was auto-tuned. I was not auto-tuned.
Yeah, no shit, you weren't fucking auto-tuned.
Oh no, my friends. I can carry a tune. Not a great tune, but I can hit notes.
When I play Nintendo, it's so very special to me.
When I play Nintendo, it's so very special to me.
That sounds like fucking ass. That's what you get for trying to fucking sing Freddie Mercury, bro. Like, in his mind, though, as he's singing along to his, like, 10-year-old or 10 years younger self, like, he's like, I have no notes on this performance. It was perfect. That was a 10 out of 10. No notes. Like, I did great. This is not cringe at all. I'm sorry, Patrick. The sound of your singing makes my eyeballs bleed. All right, then we get to the story that was featured on the CU podcast recently about the kid who was bullied for having one of Pat's enamel pins on his backpack. This story originated from one of Pat's Twitch streams, actually.
Landon White says, someone refused to let me shop at their video game booth at a flea market because they saw I had your pin and a podcast pin. What, Landon? Is that what? You got blackballed? You got discriminated against? Or is that for real? Did they give you a reason why? Can you email me that story? I'll talk about it on the podcast.
Dude, he was so hyped on this. He was like so stoked. What? Really? Somebody mentioned me? Can you tell me more? Can you email me? Can you like send me everything?
I'm serious. If you're being for real, Landon, email me, pat@thepunkeffect.com.
Honestly, for it to be like almost 3 a.m. on the East Coast and I still have 113 people in here, that's a little crazy to me. I would never have this number on Wednesday when I play my music videos. I guess if I give you guys what you want, you'll hang around.
All right, Landon. I want an email. I want the picture. I want the full story. I want the name of the vendor. I want the location. I want all of it. That could be a segment next week. Well, I'm sorry I went through that, Landon. I want you to. I almost feel like on Discord, I want to fucking FaceTime with you when you go back to that. I'll FaceTime with the guy and fucking tell him off. I swear to God, I want to do that.
Oh my God, you guys. How intimidating would it be to have Pat, the NES punk, on a FaceTime call telling you off? I don't even think I believe this story, though, honestly. This dude apparently in the story, and I appreciate all my non-North American fans, whether you're from the UK or Australia. Obviously, my Canadians and I are, we're very close. We got this close bond over here. Never been to your fucking country, but, you You're America's hat. Canada's America's hat. So I'm always going to have a soft spot for Canada for that reason alone. But yeah, I mean, some dude from fucking Lithuania sent me a DM the other day, like, saying how much he liked my shit. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if you're Lithuanian, wouldn't you want to watch, like, content made by Lithuanians? But I guess not. I guess you want to check out what the Yankees are doing. I don't know. On his Twitch stream, this kid apparently went. Oh, we got another. I didn't even Kryptonian done. I thought I had all my Canadian people like in a log, in a book, on a list. That came out wrong. You're not on that kind of list, but a list nonetheless. But okay, got another Canadian on board. Sure, why not? To a flea market and saw a seller tent with a Nintendo logo on it. So he went and he started browsing through their games when apparently one of the proprietors noticed the small. Can I ask Kryptonian Dunn what province and what is it? Province and city? Yeah. What province and city are you in Canada? Just so I know where my Canadians are at. Because I got some on the east, some on the west, some in the middle. It's all over the place. A little Pat the NES Punk enamel pins on the dude's back. I will not release the Canadian list. That's not happening. I don't want to name names. It's a very secretive, it's a blacklist. Backpack. And started heckling him. Ontario, baby, near Toronto. Oh, near Toronto? Now I'm getting possessive. I won't tell you why, and you'll never know. Just for listening to Pat's gaming podcast. Yeah, because every flea market
Stay away from Toronto.
From major cities to podunk towns, yeah, they're all aware of who Pat is, and they all listen to the CU podcast, and the proprietor just happened to spot these tiny-ass little pins on the back of a potential customer's backpack, and then proceeded to harass him and told him to leave. None of that really adds up to me, but sure, I guess. Pat and Ian are just that big that some random flea market seller in his 40s spotted the pins from off in the distance and chewed out a potential customer. Trust me, bro. Pat likes to eat on his live streams. A lot.
But like spinach?
Oh, this is bad for my ears.
Like a spinach lasagna?
Please, open email. Can you access the network already? I don't know. I'm asking.
You go, you reach and you grab it. Now ask yourself, do you have it?
Oh, $5 super chat from Ice Hockey Jedi. Just because 50 people want you to keep streaming doesn't mean you're even worthy of washing Pat's ball bag. Oh, trust me if I don't already know that. Because I do already know that. This is all performative, you know, like the poll. I know it was a bunch of people feeling bad for me, and it's like that kid who has a birthday at like Discovery Zone, and like 2 kids show up, and then you as the birthday boy, you feel awkward, and you're like, oh, I guess I gotta entertain them because they made the effort to show up. That's how I pretty much feel about the 54 people who voted on me to keep streaming. I just feel like I had a birthday party and only 54 people showed up. And I feel like a fucking loser. A fucking loser.
A haunted house. Wow, Kellogg's Max. Scary how I love those sweet.
But his lack of self-awareness is so great that you'll also find him saying stuff like this.
Putting mukbang stream next week. I don't know what that meant. I looked it up. That's where people just eat a lot of food. Would you want to see me eat a bunch of food while I stream? That's disgusting. I guess you can watch me.
Just thought I'd bookend the last bit of this whole thing with Pat stuffing his face, because I find that fucking disgusting to do on a live stream personally, but that's just me. I don't know, man. Pat is a weird, freakishly insecure guy, and that is never more obvious than watching these live streams. It's also obvious that Pat has picked probably the most obvious brain rot to live stream and charge money for. Old TV commercials. I've done my own share of streaming old TV commercials because, quite frankly, it's a very obvious idea, especially if you're a millennial or Gen X or whatever. Apparently, Doug Walker's old TV commercial videos are just, like, fantastic and great and all that. I think I might have watched one of them. I don't remember. And the shit gets kind of boring after a while for me personally whenever I used to do it, especially when they just start kind of repeating the similar commercials over and over again. I guess you could call Pat a shrewd businessman, though, for finding a way to squeeze his audience for as much money as possible while arguing with his mom, smacking into the microphone while eating, and banning people for bringing up things that Pat was deprived of as a kid. I gotta say, the whole list that Pat was deprived of still pisses me off every time I think about it, and was really the spark that made
That's me agreeing with myself just then. I nodded to what I was saying. I'm literally agreeing with myself right now. This is something that can only happen through the magic of the internet. This is Boogie2988, guys.
You want to make this video.
Gee whiz.
People with that level of entitlement drive me insane. But, you know, whatever, man. If you want to give him money, that's your prerogative. And to quote Pat, it's capitalism. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this completely unnecessary video essay about an OG gaming YouTuber whose career is in its sunset phase. Until next time, have a good rest of your night.
Oh yes. I know what I need to see now, and I know what you guys need to see now. And it's about to happen now. Oh, Art of Crapathy. Yeah, we could watch that. Lately you've been hard to reach around. No, I don't want to diminish my song by making fun of it. What am I doing? What are you doing, Josh? Have some self-fucking-respect over a... No, I like that song. Obviously, I wrote it. All right. No, I just, sorry.
Yes. Why don't you...
I need... This is highlights of Boogie crashing out on the LOLcow Live. I can't get enough of this guy, this Boogie guy, man.
Just tell the audience.
I don't want to destroy a human life. Because I don't want to destroy someone's fucking life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want
to... Bro, I don't know, man. When morbidly obese people move around quickly, it's just comical to me. And he's got that weird long, like, gigolo hair. Like some dude who, I don't know what you would call that as, but it's already amazing at this point.
Destroy somebody's life! Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life!
Okay.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No, I don't!
You just sat here.
I'll destroy mine all day. I'll destroy mine all day. And my dad is dead. And my mom is dead. I'll talk about those pieces of shit till they fucking rot.
Yeah, but Chad and Desi aren't dead.
Still fucking alive. I will not. We've talked about it. We made an agreement. And I'm not going to do that for internet clout. I'm not going to do that so the Keemstar can jerk off to it. No, thank you. We're not here for the fucking audience to get off on.
I understand that you talk.
Bro, when Wings of Redemption looks like the sane person in the room, that's how you know. That's how you know that Boogie is like King LOLcow of all time. Like, I don't even know if DSP really holds a candle to Boogie at this point. The DSP had the wits about him to decline being a part of LOLcow Live, okay? I don't think DSP is as big of a fucking... Yeah, I mean, he is, but, like, I don't know, man. I think Boogie's pulling ahead here. Like, god damn.
Somebody's fucking life. Goddamn internet cloud. This is not a topic I will cover for internet cloud.
Nobody's talking about that copper. Here's what I'm trying to talk to you about, Mr. Talk Loud.
Later.
You're on a lot of medicine, Boogie. Is any of those medicines an SSRI?
Go fuck yourself. I will divulge no more medical information to any of you motherfuckers.
This is
an SSRI is selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It's Lexapro, Zoloft. It's anti-anxiety, antidepressant medication. That's all it is. It's not a big deal to be like, yeah, I'm on an SSRI. It's not like you're on a benzo or anything like that. It's like fucking like 1/3 of the adults in the U.S. are probably on SSRI. It's like literally like not a big deal.
You ain't got to tell me what it is. Like there's a bevy of medicine.
Go fuck yourself.
Because you need to be on an SSRI.
Bro,
because like
stop.
you should not have this
Wings,
emotion.
Oh man,
just stop.
The 3 or 4 of you who have called me a LOLcow, please sit by the fireside, my children. This is what a LOLcow truly is. Educate yourselves.
A few moments later.
Why don't you say what you want to say about the situation?
I want to die. That's
my God.
what I say over and over and over again. I hate being alive. I hate being alive. I hate breathing. I hate being alive. I'm in tremendous pain. I'm in tremendous pain. Help me. Help me. Help me. I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain.
All right. Well then, okay. Let's get off the
What else
internet.
do you-
Let's just get off.
What do you want me to talk about instead? What do you want me to talk about instead?
This goes back to like last night. You're not mentally fit to be on the show. It's
No,
irresponsible.
what did you want to talk about? Anything but the abuse. What are you doing to my play button?
Oh Jesus! I think he's about to say whatever his abuse is, and I don't know if I believe any of this shit, but we'll see.
It's not. It's
What about
not.
Chris talking about 4-year-old girls?
I got
We're
a
gonna
question.
talk about that?
And by the way, I know you can't talk about your sister. You said you would talk about your dad and mother all day. So will you address those issues? Because
Yes, my mother twitted my fucking tipples. That's my
Tipples? What are tipples? Tit nipples? Is that what that is for like a man? If you have like man, bro, look at that screenshot. Look how weird Boogie looks. You know the crazy thing is he's got the same skeleton that every other male has, but it's got so much fat over it. He just looks like a weird like Hummel like figurine or some shit. I don't know how to describe that.
the abuse, and she twisted my balls and my dick, and she told me that sex was disgusting and awful, and she told me that only disgusting, awful people had it.
Okay, but then, okay, well, let's not talk about...
I like how Keemstar's trying to act like he's, like, not a shit stirrer. Like, he's, like, the calm, cool guy in the room, like the therapist. Keemstar is such a fucking snake. He's, like, probably one of the worst people on the internet, honestly. This dude is tantamount to whoever started... You remember that bum fight series in the early 2000s where these fucking college frat boy fuckboys would get these bums to do crazy shit, like get like bumfights.com tattooed on their forehead for a 40 of Old English. Like, that's Keemstar, essentially. Like, I think he is like fucking the devil, honestly. But Boogie's being very funny right now. Honestly, when it comes to Wings of Redemption, I have no opinion on that guy. I never followed Jordy or whatever the fuck his name is. I never followed him. I don't care about Wings of Redemption or DSP, but Boogie, I definitely have a vested interest in Boogie. I very much enjoy watching his meltdowns. It's very funny to me.
Any of it.
No, my dad fucking masturbated in front of me and showed me pornography and asked me if I wanted to join in and encouraged me to touch him, and I fucking did! I did! I fucking did! I fucking did! I fucking did!
No.
There, can we be done? Can we be done with it? Can we be done with it?
We're done. We're done. We're done with it. We're done with that conversation. I don't.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're done with that conversation.
Thank you.
I got something I can ask.
Yeah, none of this Renata. Yeah, none of this happened. None of that shit happened. I'm sorry, bro. That is so performative. It is so Boogie is a master manipulator, first of all. If you think I'm just goofing on some fat guy with, like, molestation trauma or whatever, Boogie is such a fucking manipulative, lying son of a bitch. That's why I laugh. You just kind of got to know who this guy is. He's lied about having cancer. He's lied about everything. Dude's just gotten shittier as he's gotten older. I mean, like, he started off kind of like, well, gee whiz, guys, I'm the Mr. Rogers of the internet. And now he's just like this grifting old husk who will literally humiliate, almost in like a bump. Oh my God, he got liar tattooed on his face. Yes, he's literally like, he's a bum, but happens to have like a roof over his head. He in his mind, he's a bum.
Nothing to do with that kind of conversation.
A few inches later.
So
I mean, actually, Wings did have some moments on the LolCal podcast where he like kind of embarrassed himself, but nowhere near. I don't even know if Wings of Redemption is fit to be on this podcast. Like, you really need someone to match the cringiness of Boogie. And I don't even know if DSP would fit that. I think Rich from Review Tech would have been a good second, because Rich is very reactive and also quite fat. So if he moves around fast, it would be funny visually. I honestly think Review Tech, Rich, whatever you want to call him, Rich and Boogie would have been. I don't think Wings is cringy enough at this point. Like, he had his moment in the sun, but he's not. I don't know. Pat's not. Sorry to say, but Pat's not nearly as cringe as Boogie. Yeah, I'm just going through the list here. I don't know, like
down and depressed and in pain.
I
You didn't have an
fucking
answer.
hate myself every
Why?
second. Because I'm a piece of shit. Have you not read the fucking internet?
The internet's not always right.
He's yelling so loud that his microphone's built-in compressor is kicking in, and it's just gating the sound, meaning that like it just mutes it once you get to a certain volume level. That's funny.
Like
They are. They fucking are. They fucking are. I am a piece of shit. I am human garbage.
Do not hit yourself.
Yeah,
or I have
don't
to
hit
hang
yourself,
up.
buddy.
Or I have to hang up on you. No self-harm shit at all. In fact, the yelling and screaming is kind of self-harm. You gotta stop. You gotta.
Oh, Keemstar, like you give a fuck if somebody self-harm. Like, you fucking. Oh no, that's just acting like you give a fuck, but you really don't. You don't want to get banned by YouTube's terms of service. That's the only reason you're telling them not to do it. If you were on Kick or some more like an app or a website that was more liberal about people doing these kind of things, you would absolutely encourage him to hit himself more. But you don't want to violate. You fucking piece of shit acting like you care. Fucking Keemstar is like such a piece of shit individual.
Cheeseburgers, B. Let me do that for a year.
You gotta talk normal, bro. You can't have these outbursts like this. Come on,
Bro, this is me acting like I care. Like,
Positive things about the aspect of this whole situation, you just ignore
None of it's
it.
positive. None of it's positive. None of it's positive. I don't want any of those things.
We
You
have
understand?
19,000 real viewers here. This is not bought it.
We have 10 million. I don't care. The only thing I care about in the world is not being in miserable fucking pain. That's all I want. That's all I want. I want to wake up tomorrow not in miserable fucking pain. That's all I want. The 10 million, 20 million, 5.
Dude, he's got a lot of like the twitchy motions and shit. Like he's got a lot of like I'm surprised he lost the boxing match to Wings of Redemption. He's got a lot of those twitchy motions that you need to like if you're like boxing someone or some shit. Like he's a very twitchy guy for being so fat. Like his movements are quick. Like you think like I maybe wouldn't step to Boogie because he's very twitchy. Like he's got the he's like firing on all cylinders. Old people can't move around like that. And Boogie's like in his like mid-50s, I think.
8 million watchers won't do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. For having so much pain, he sure does move very freely. Yeah, that's a good point.
How's your weight doing? How's your weight doing right now?
It's down because I'm on a medication that I can no longer afford, by the way, but I've lost 24 fucking pounds on the piece of shit.
Oh, to the Canadians, I need to translate and speak American to you right now. He said a medication that I can no longer afford. That means that it's his insurance will not cover it, and he has to pay out of pocket, meaning that he just goes without it because like that's ain't that America, home of the free? Ain't that America, you and me, baby?
Shit, but I get to put it all back on because I don't have the fucking money.
Let's
to
go.
pay for the goddamn medication.
Guys, he lost 24 pounds. 24 pounds.
I get to put it right back on.
Congratulations, buddy. 24 is a big deal.
I get to put it right back on.
No, you're not going to put it on. You lost it. Good job.
It was the medication that did it. I can no longer afford it.
Bro, he's gone full on cartoon character. And you know, it's funny about him when he has these little temper tantrums. It's funny how fast he just clicks back into being calm. That's what we call acting. Like I could go on a rage right. I'm not gonna do it because I don't feel like blowing your ears out and shit. I could do Boogie's freak out. I could copy that shit. I could copy that energy right now. I'm somewhat of a fucking actor over here. I'm trying to walk over here. I could do that. And then when you instantly go back to being completely calm, yeah, that's called acting. You're not really upset. Like, this dude calms down so much after his little freakouts. It's funny to watch. This is like a human zoo at this point is what we're watching. For anyone who's just checked in. We're watching a human zoo of awful personalities.
That's good.
It's bad. It's bad. How's it good that I can't afford the medication? How's it good? How's it good that I can't afford the medication?
You lost
How's that
24
good?
pounds. You lost 24
I'm
pounds.
gonna put it right back on.
Why are you saying that? Why are you
doing OG AVGN rant? If I pull up, if his scripts are available, I will do an OG AVGN rant. If I see the script, I will do it. I will do a read. I will audition on stream.
Instantly.
Because I can't afford the medication. Because I can't afford the medication. Because I can't afford the medication.
Why can't you afford the medication?
Because I lost my fucking job.
No, you sold your part of your job.
Yeah,
Like,
you're getting money for that.
Which I need for mortgage, but I can't make YouTube videos. I can't live stream. I can't even sell my cards
Have
on
you tried
whatnot anymore.
Have you tried making
I'm
YouTube
banned
videos?
from the internet. Remember, Keem? I'm banned from the internet. You don't let me do shit. You told me I'm not allowed to do shit.
That's
I
true.
can't even sell my products on whatnot. I can't even tweet. I can't even fucking post. I can't post my girlfriend's fucking OnlyFans. I can't do shit.
Well, the reason
Team gonna come slap you when you do that.
But listen to me. The reason why I banned you.
Oh, of course his 5 out of 10 girlfriend is on OnlyFans. Of course she is.
From the internet is because there has to be punishments, and if you do these punishments, I think the internet
The
will.
punishment's gonna make sure I don't have enough money.
Finish.
to pay for
Let
my
me
fucking
finish what I'm
anything.
saying.
One eternity later.
No, Scout. Boogie, keep your chin up, man. You'll get through this. We all go through the storm sometimes. Fault sees us through it. Thank you.
Look, that was inspirational. They had your back.
I don't.
Why is Keemstar like, he's got like, I'm about to go fishing for a really long time on a boat for like 5 hours in the sun. Like, nobody try to contact me. I'm trying to catch some bass and some trout, maybe some catfish. Like, put a fishing pole in a tackle box next to Keemstar. He looks like he's about to be on a boat for a long time. What the fuck? What are these glasses that he's wearing? Like, are you about to go fishing? Is this like a last little thing you got to wrap up before you get on the fucking boat? And just have some pond time, man, or deep sea fish. I don't know what your flavor is. My dad was very into fishing, so I know about these things.
I don't care. I just want to get through it. I don't care. Just let me get through it.
You got this, bro. Let's
Shut up.
You're doing good.
Shut the fuck up. Janelle M says to me it comes down to credibility, as in the Boogie has none. I'm having a hard time giving him any benefit of the doubt. I'm all for listening to all survivors. It's really hard to accept that I'm an advocate, but I can't.
12 seconds later.
SpongeBob
Jay
shit.
Hawker says, Boogie, if you truly love Desi, you would break up with her. If she has the issues you said, she's being with you is going to make it worse, not better. You're going to mess her up. Well, she and her family disagrees, but go off, I guess. Big man on dick. Buy a hat for your hat.
Let him know. Go off, Queen. Go off,
Oh,
Queen.
I'm not interested. Just let me get through it, Dan.
You got this.
Matt, shut the fuck up! Let me get through it, motherfucker! Matt Sale says, so only people that aren't capable of refusing his testimony are allowed to be discussed. If they are dead, they're fair game. This is why, Dan, I told you I couldn't talk about this, man.
You can do this.
This is why I told you. No, I can't.
Now he's getting emotional. I can't talk about this, man. I told you I can't talk about this. And now it's gonna go to like volume 11 with the anger.
Told you I couldn't talk about
Boogie,
this.
you knocked this out of the park.
I begged you not to make me talk about this on the show. I begged you.
This is rage mixed with sadness. I begged you not to make me talk about this on the radio.
Crushed
it. I begged you, Dan.
I'd fuck a Jew. Is that what he's saying? I mean, I have. It was pretty cool. It's all pink on the inside, Beavis. Remember that. Oh, yeah. Maybe someday, butthead, I will fuck a Jew. Beavis, you're never gonna get laid. 'Cause you suck.
I begged you.
You crushed it.
I
You did very good tonight.
you. I fucking begged you.
You did. What's going on over there? You did fine. I think you broke your.
It's an epic freeze frame.
Computer? Hello? Are you there? Oh my God. His fucking. I think his roommate cut off the power. Oh no.
Oh, when me and Keemstar are both laughing at the same time, you know that's a bad sign. Oh, Jesus. I don't want to have anything to do with that motherfucker, but still, shit's funny.
The roommate cut off the power. Remember how the fucking roommate and the girlfriend remember how they were watching the power switch where if he lost it they were just gonna unplug it. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Well,
I mean, I guess the lesson learned here is like he's fucking with awful people. So, you know, I don't feel bad. I mean, that was highly entertaining. That was probably the most entertaining thing this whole night. Before I end this stream, I do have to end with this thing that I'm like low key hyper focused on, perhaps in an autistic way. Where is it at? Okay, yeah. I don't know, man. I really like The Sopranos. And I'm not a huge fan of AI, but man, sometimes I think AI for comedy is totally acceptable. And so we're going to watch this at least twice, and then I'm going to end the stream and end my life. I want to do a boogie freak out recreate. I want to study that boogie freak out, the help me, and all that shit. I want to recreate it. I feel like I can do it. I feel like I have the skill level to do it. All right, we're gonna watch this, and then we're gonna be done. We're probably gonna watch it twice.
Woke up this morning, got some gabagool. Then I woke up the next day and got some gabagool. Keep waking up, getting different types of gabagool. Even got some gabagool from Scooby-Doo.
And we're gonna watch it again.
Woke up this morning, got some gabagool. Then I woke up the next day and got some gabagool. Keep waking up, keep getting different types of gabagool. Even got some gabagool from Scooby-Doo.
All right, you bitches, I got to go to my mom's house and let the dogs out because she's on vacation. So I'm going to stop the stream, but it was a good one tonight. Solid stream. Pretty much stayed on track. Didn't get too wild. I got to pee like a racehorse. So until next time, have a good rest of your night. No, I don't think gabagool sounds great either. It sounds like a salted meat that, I don't know. I'm a fake Italian American, quite frankly. I have no connection to my heritage.